chair in
are
post-production
streaming.
in the green screen.
Oh no.
We currently just started streaming.
No.
Axel, you need to also wear a green shirt.
What? I didn't.
Just your... So Axel, you wear a green shirt and you have your stick.
Yeah. I'm listening. Go on.
So your shirt is greened out. And you're just your floating head and hands. It's long sleeve and your hands with the stick, and you're pointing at things behind you.
And sometimes at my body.
Yeah. So just it's a flawless plan.
Kayla, send help. Daniel needs help.
Yeah, you know what? The only way to help him is to put him out of his misery entirely, so.
That's rude.
Alright. So, is anyone experiencing any issue at all with Discord video?
Every now and then my Discord, like, the video lags, and then it comes back, and by the time it comes back, you guys are all going, like, super speed, and then it just kind of fixes itself. So if you guys are talking to me and I'm not responding, it's probably because I'm confused.
Is it just the video, or does the audio?
The audio isn't doing anything for it either, but it's probably just my computer and my internet, so...
Oh, this is weird.
I blame goblins.
Usually, like, on every single podcast, I don't know if you guys notice, I guess it's just the way Skype does it, but Daniel is always in, like, the top left, and Kayla's in the top right, or something like that, but now you guys are at the bottom.
No, I got
Where
demoted.
am I?
You're in the top right.
I got demoted.
So it goes Jesse, Axel, Daniel, Kayla. Well, you can't see
You
my
ever
hand
realize
motion,
how
but
weird people look from, like, side views?
Wait, so who's below me?
Kayla.
Figuratively,
Hi, Kayla.
like
Don't wave at me!
You have to,
What?
you have to
You're
look
down
up.
there.
You are below me.
Alright, so we have 10 people in the chat right now. I guess that's enough to get started. Okay, so
Hello, people in the chat.
we have Damien, Simon, Time to Chill, Doc Brown, Gus, and Daniel's Hot Topics.
Oh,
That's my hot topic.
Yeah. Alright.
That's
Daniel and his emo days.
Everyone in the chat, let us know if you can hear our audio well. Like, if you can hear me good, if you can hear them good, if anyone needs to be turned up before we get started.
and not like hashtag turned up.
Yeah.
Or that, actually. Let us know if that needs to happen too. Oh, and Raven Bronwyn. Don't forget me. We didn't forget you, Raven. Wasn't there a show like That's So Raven?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's about our friend in the chat here. I never watched that show.
You're missing out.
It's
That
all
shit is
about-
legit.
Uh-oh, the offensive memes are now on.
Link getting harassed by Tangled.
I told you that's what it was gonna be.
Yeah, he was talking to us about this.
The Tingle Tuner.
That makes sense as to all of the tingly tingles.
Are you feeling tingly?
Don't.
Also, it says the live
Don't.
stream offline.
Just
Are we
Daniel.
actually doing it?
Oh, I had. It's good. I had to stop it and
Oh,
restart.
and something. Don't forget.
Now I'm
Don't
doing
forget.
advertisement.
We're gonna all have new names. There's gonna be Jessup, Caleb,
Oh, hello! Look at we're seeing things happening.
Axub,
Oh, wow.
and Dan.
Oh,
It's
sorry,
my job to
leaving.
give horrible nicknames. I did that for years on Zelda Dungeon.
Hello.
Okay, Axub,
Hello.
whatever.
Hello.
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 I'm trying to get the volume correct. Alright, so we should be good.
Face is correct. Did I ever get these lights correct?
Are the lights correct? See.
My lights are not very good.
My light gives like a red tint, but it'll be good.
So, how do you guys feel about coconut crackers?
I've never eaten them.
Coconut crackers.
The weird part to
Coconut
me was the quote from the guy who apparently made 2/3 of the game, saying that the whole time the entire team knew it was a lackluster game. And I'm like, why work on something you know is going to be mediocre?
That's how you make the buck.
Yeah. No,
Just gotta make that sweet money.
No, like they could have just
Why do you think Activision has stayed afloat all these years?
What is...
We're getting demonetized, aren't we?
We are.
Everyone live discussing all of the new Zelda and Nintendo news. Join Daniel. I'm making a tweet to get people to come. Daniel Chablima and Axel.
I'm still posting memes in the Discord.
You sure are. So,
Kayla, what happened to Chewbacca?
No.
Kayla left. There she is.
oh, she's back. What happened
Uh-oh.
to Chewbacca?
Isn't it Chublima?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah, she's Chublima.
I'm confused.
Chewbacca's severed head is behind her, mounted on the wall, like some kind of trophy.
I didn't notice that till just now.
Alright, so
What did you do?
We're going to start with the Pikachu news story because I feel that's the weakest news story, so we can like cram it in with the intro.
Okay. Is there a picture of this Pikachu, this Raichu form? I didn't look at it yet.
I am going to move, so everyone is going to witness me live stream moving to my kitchen.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I'm
Because my
gonna
internet-
pay attention to this.
Alright, while you move to your kitchen, I'm gonna go get a drink.
My
And
internet is
are
not
you-
working.
Is it
Take
because
my
of
helmets with
Chewbacca's
me.
head?
Let's go on an adventure.
I can't see any of it.
Your video's frozen, so you
Oh,
should wait till it
Bless,
comes
this
back.
is a good thing.
No, I want to see everything. No.
Is my video still frozen?
Yes.
I just realized. One
Jessup is
sec.
gone. Caleb is okay. Now I'm gonna be all by myself. I guess this is going to be just a stream of nobody doing anything.
I should be
Bye.
here now.
That didn't happen. What? Wait, where did Daniel go? And we're live and everything, aren't we?
Yep. Wait, Axel, can you see me or am I still frozen?
You're still frozen on my end.
Ugh.
That does not mean you're frozen on Jesse's end.
No, Daniel was saying I was. Did that fix anything? Am I back?
Uh,
No.
Alright.
Am I frozen? Hello?
sorry. Oh, no, you're there. I can see you now.
Okay, sweet. Wow, look at how orange my hair.
What the hell, Daniel?
Back. Oh, Jesse's still not here.
But I'm here now.
Yeah, Kayla never left.
So we still had a stream going with no one really here, though, right?
Yeah, we've been live the whole time.
Yeah. Okay, just checking. Oh, Kayla's back. She did leave.
No, I'm still here.
I just saw you walk back in.
I was grabbing a bowl.
Of nothing? Is that an empty bowl?
Yeah.
Get back, Daniel.
I put it underneath my laptop.
So I'm gonna. Is this the microphone you guys are hearing?
Yes.
The one
Yeah.
being tapped.
Yeah.
Can you? And should I tap mine as well?
Yes.
This is the worst stream in the history of streams.
Alright. Are we all good now?
What? I'm still posting memes.
Okay.
Has everyone? Oh my gosh.
I'd like to just take a moment to apologize to everyone on the stream for this gong show.
Yes. Alright.
Best stream ever.
Somehow, 20 of you are still watching.
Alright.
Oh,
Thank you.
21 people.
Oh,
Are we ready?
We're ready.
I'm still posting memes.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Yeah, you found me. Oh.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm sorry.
All right.
All right. What's up, everybody? I am Jesse, or Game Over Jesse, as all of you may know me, and here with us, as always, is our faithful co-host, Daniel.
That's me. I'm Daniel.
Yes. And returning is our new co-host, Kayla.
Ayo.
And a returning or recurring guest, one of my favorites, Axel.
Who's he?
We have yet to figure that out.
Oh.
So,
Yeah, Axel, who are you?
Yes.
It's a mystery.
Yes. So I believe this is episode 30 of the Hylian Gamescast, but
You're not sure?
I am not. Someone commented a few episodes back, said we've had like 4 episode 26s.
I think we did have a bunch of this.
So that falls on me. I label all of the project files when I edit. Like, I'll just number them like 26, 27, 28. So I don't know how that's possible, but apparently we've had, yeah. Anyways, so on today's Hylian Gamescast for Monday, May 7th, I believe? Monday, May 7th.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is May 7th.
Are going to be discussing Pikachu's origins and a crazy third evolution thing that he was going to have but didn't for some reason. We have Nintendo's 3DS plans for the future. We have Nintendo hiring to work on a new Zelda game. We have Nintendo's quotes on pushing mobile games. Apparently they want to have $1 billion mobile game. I don't think that's necessarily possible, but...
Or necessarily necessary.
Yeah. And we have rumors
Touché.
for Luigi's Mansion 3 for the Nintendo Switch, but this mostly concerns the original Luigi's Mansion for the 3DS that was recently announced. Then we are going to move into the top 5 Zelda crossovers. This is not necessarily crossover games where you can play as Link, but random games that have like Easter eggs or cameos of Link. So it'll be fun, and we'll end it as always answering questions from you guys sent in from the mailbag. If you want to have your questions featured on the mailbag, then you can head over to patreon.com/GameOverJesse, just as Megan Nill, Casey Willis, Rusty Caulfield, Link Used the Triforce, Tight-Lipped Gaming, Robbie Morgan, Shadow to Us, Lovable Christie, Key of Time 15, Lunarial, Michelle Jones, Ashley, Monica, Justin, and the one did. A lot of people there, but hardly any of them actually ask questions.
They just want to see your
I
beautiful
feel like
face.
mostly like Ashley, and then I saw a question from the one, but that's
The
about
one,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, they always send in stuff. Gus always sends in questions.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everyone, if you want to have your question featured and you're not a Patreon, join the Discord group. There is a link in the description, and you can go to one of the chats, just tag any of us to make sure we see it and ask your question. And if we have time at the end of the show, we'll get around to answering it. But our first piece of news, Daniel, Kayla, Axel, did you guys know that Pikachu was originally a squirrel, not a mouse?
A what?
Yes.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah.
Not good.
And did
I
you
thought
Not at
Pikachu
all.
was a rat, though.
Yeah, and
He's the mouse
did
Pokemon.
you know that he also originally
I'm looking
had-
this up. I don't believe you.
No,
He's
this
the
is
mouse
all part of the
Pokemon.
same story.
No,
Yeah. So,
He doesn't trust your info.
I don't trust Daniel.
all right. So
I don't either, so that's okay.
this specific article comes from Silicon Era, where they source an interview that happened between one of the original creators of Pokemon. But the article says Pikachu originally had a second evolution called Gorachu, with a large fangs and 2 horns. Key illustrators and designers behind the creation of Pokemon in Ken Sugimura, Atsuku Nishida, and Koji Nishino, I hope I pronounced those right, recently got together to talk all things Pikachu in a big interview with Yamiori, I don't know, where some of the interesting things they say is series illustrator Pokemon Monster originally started as a game about fighting with monsters that fit in your pocket. I don't know if you guys knew that. That's where
Makes sense.
pocket monsters comes from.
I mean, they already do. They
Monsters.
just have to. We just have a middleman now in the form of the Pokeballs.
Yeah, you just gotta put them in your little ball.
So we were making
Daniel.
with the image of tough-looking monsters fighting each other, but then had some people within the development team say, I want to see more cute monsters. Since the game was getting monsters to fight, collect, and trade, having only tough-looking monsters wasn't enough. After various considerations, it was decided that we needed cute monsters. At this time, we only had 3 designers, and I was the main one in charge of Pokemon designs. However, I am a male and I designed with a boy's heart to make the likes of Mewtwo, Gyarados, Snorlax, Lapras, and other tough-looking monsters. Snorlax isn't that tough. Neither is Lapras.
No,
I think they
not
fall
really.
on like the cute, cuddly side, right?
Or the thick side.
Yeah, tough-looking Pokemon designs
Daniel.
was all I could think of. So the thought of cute monsters didn't even cross my mind. So that's when we got help from a female designer, Nishida-san, who was tasked with designing Pikachu. What kind of request did you get at the time? Let's see. I requested only to make an electric type and a monster with 2 evolutions. There wasn't any specifics about the animal to be based on. I didn't draw it on paper and directly design the pixel art, so there isn't any data of it now, but the first prototype I designed for Pikachu was a Defeku-like creature in the shape of a long What is a Defeku, guys?
A daifuku?
Yeah, Daifuku, that's it.
It's a Japanese dessert.
Yeah, rice cake is what it says. Okay.
Wait, what? Now I'm more confused.
Yeah, I'll leave the rest to your imaginations, but it was nothing like Pikachu you know today. At the time, the Defeku-like monstrous creation, Ishido-san named it Pikachu. At first, you couldn't really distinguish what part of its head and its body. I named it without giving it much thought, but since it was an electric type, I threw in a Pika, editor's note from the Japanese onomatopoeia, Pika Pika, meaning glitter, sparkle, or shine. I didn't have a mouse in mind in the chew, a Japanese mouse, noise like squeak part. This is getting confusing. Translation overload. And I actually don't remember the reason, but anyway, the name Pikachu came first, and from there, it was made into a mouse. As a result, it was carried by its name, made into a mouse. I believe it was the president, Satoshi Tajiri, who decided to make it an electric mouse. Game designer Nishida-san and I corresponded while creating Pikachu, and the name Pikachu really resonated with me personally, and I thought cute, and from there I started liking Pikachu more and more for the reason when I was shown Defeku-like design, I asked Nishida-san to make the design even cuter. So you have this big guy, Nishino picture above, who was actually the model for Snorlax. Oh, that's gotta be crushing. Could you imagine someone telling you you're the model for Snorlax? It's like you have the perfect body type for Snorlax.
Me.
You kidding me? I'd be just like, yeah, Snorlax.
Yeah.
No.
I've always liked and fancied characters. It was always difficult to enter which characters to keep. I'm trying to find the highlights of this. But
Yeah, there's a lot of talking. I think like one thing that I noticed was that they were gonna have 3 evolutions, but they ended up only doing 2 from Pikachu to Raichu, and then there's a Gorochu, and Goro is supposed to be an onomatopoeia for a rumbling used in the context of thunder, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it definitely makes sense to introduce the cute designs.
I just can't get over the fact that basically
So-
Pikachu's name means basically like a sparkly squeal.
Yeah.
That's what I'm taking away from
So
this.
a quick, a shortened version from Go Nintendo says the Pokemon news just keeps coming. We learned about Pikachu's squirrel origins the other day, and now we learned that there's a lost evolution for Pikachu as well. The info comes from Pokemon illustrator Atsu Nishida, who said at one time there was an evolution for Pikachu after Raichu called Gorachu. The design included fangs and a pair of horns. The evolution ended up being cut from the game due to balancing issues. So.
Balancing issues. Wait.
They didn't want 152 Pokemon?
Maybe he was just too OP.
Yeah, he could have been.
You electric
That's the only
for
thing that
me.
I'm thinking of is because Pikachu and Raichu, like, they haven't created a third evolution for them. They kind of supplemented like a new baby form, like with Pichu, right?
Yeah.
So they still haven't added like a new third evolution after Raichu. They've just added in the Pichu. Or
Now you've got surfboarding Raichu.
surfboarding Raichu.
Yeah, but it's just his tail.
Yeah, I don't. Surfboarding Raichu and regular Raichu, totally different.
Yeah.
Not even close to being the same. They're
It's
completely separate.
It's odd to go from Pikachu, which is one of the cutest Pokemon, to something with like horns and fangs and stuff. So.
Well, yeah, but if you think about it, most of the Pokemon evolutions actually go that way. Although a lot of the ones that don't start mean turn like a lot of the ones like the third evolution is mean start really cute. Very few Pokemon lines start mean.
Yes, that's very true.
Oh, Daniel. All right. So, Kayla, what are your thoughts on this weird horned version of Gorachu?
Honestly, I think I wouldn't have wanted to see another evolution because for me, like, I didn't even want my Pikachu to be a Raichu. So I've got that going for me. But like Pikachu, bottom line, is adorable.
Yeah.
Is basic. I love Pikachu. Don't change him.
Yeah, I find it's odd that the origins for the design comes from a rice cake and then evolved into a squirrel-esque Pokemon and is now a mouse. So,
Yeah.
or a rat, I don't know.
Well, they clearly iterated on it a lot when they were.
Should have just kept the rice cake.
Should have just kept the rice cake. I think that there's like a lot of Pokemon that apparently started from that design because if you look at like Clefairy or Clefable and then like Jigglypuff and all of the others, they're all just like pink balls.
Yeah, with ears.
I still think the worst insult in there was the saying that the guy was like the body design for Snorlax, and he didn't even look that big. He looked.
Can you imagine if he found it after the fact and one day they're just talking over lunch and they're like, yeah, Snorlax, hey, that's John. And he's like,
He doesn't look anything like
What do you mean?
Snorlax,
what do
though.
you mean that's me? Like, yeah, we based it off you. It's like, just imagine being that guy, being like, you based the Snorlax off me?
It's so horrible.
What? That would be terrible.
It's like someone.
I'd walk away and never talk to those people again.
Yeah. Alright, well, I guess that takes us to the end of the first piece of news. So, Daniel, would you like to take us into...
You okay over there, Daniel?
Yes.
Daniel.
He's just like,
Nintendo's 3DS plans.
Nintendo's 3DS plans for 2019 and beyond. It said Buzz Lightyear in the Google Doc, so that wasn't very Buzz Lightyear sounding of me.
I mean, you tried.
I tried. I failed. This news comes from NintendoLife.com. Mr. Kimishima says Nintendo still has plans for the 3DS in 2019 and beyond. So basically, when Nintendo Switch launched, the foregone conclusion that the Wii U would be axed, which it was. But many wondered if the 3DS would suffer the same fate, which so far it has not.
No, Daniel, the 3DS is going to be supported alongside the Switch and the Wii U.
So the Wii U died.
No, Nintendo said it was a third
Don't
pillar.
listen to what they say. Don't listen to what they say. So there's a quote: the Nintendo 3DS family of systems has reached a global cumulative series sell of 72 million units to a broad array of consumers. 3DS boasts a rich lineup of game software with more than 1,000 titles across a wide variety of genres. We will continue the Nintendo 3DS business by leveraging its installed base and rich software library. We believe it is important to leverage the rich library of 3DS series title to drive sales with existing 3DS owners as well as with consumers who recently have purchased the 3DS hardware and are investigating strategies for doing so. In addition to the titles currently on sale, we have announced the coming release of the titles shown here. We are even preparing a new software release for 2019 and beyond. Our plan is to continue maintaining this business by taking advantage of new titles like these. That's the whole quote. Nothing but the quote.
It was well quoted.
It was
Good sir.
Such
10 out
quotey.
of 10.
So this news comes from Nintendo.
From Kimishima,
Yeah.
the man who is going to be stepping down in a couple months. So
Technically, Kayla's hierarchy boss.
if you go high enough,
Yeah,
international,
somewhere. I don't know.
like really higher, like
So,
really, really higher.
Like, he probably doesn't know I exist.
he doesn't know we exist either.
But you know that he exists, so that's good.
So I think this is interesting because, I mean, stuff like this, like saying they have plans for like 2019 and beyond, I can't take too seriously because, like, they said the same thing about Wii U. It's like, no, we're going to continue to support Wii U. A month later, it's like, we're canceling production of the Wii U.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
to be
the
fair,
Wii
that's
as
night
well.
and day.
Yeah.
The Wii as well, though, is the Wii was kind of as big a success or bigger success than the 3DS even. And Reggie ran on record and said, the Wii has a long life ahead of it still, and then they announced the Wii U like very shortly after. So,
And then
like very shortly after.
the Switch has already, like, I think it's passed the Wii U lifetime sales within just like a year and something. And also, another piece.
Not that it's saying much.
I don't think we talked about this on the podcast, but it's another tiny piece of news. Breath of the Wild, in a little bit over a year, became the best-selling Nintendo Zelda game. So it's already outsold Twilight Princess, which was the last record holder because it was... actually, I would say it's Ocarina of Time now, because you can... Like, if you count every version of Ocarina of Time on, like, the Wii Virtual Console, Wii U, Nintendo 64, I would say it's probably the best-selling.
Yeah, but I assume you mean on like a single system.
Yeah, for like physical release.
Right.
Breath of the Wild outpassed both the GameCube and the Wii versions of Twilight Princess. And I don't know if they just counted the Switch version of the game or the Wii U and the Switch version.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember where I saw the numbers for it, but somewhere I saw that Breath of the Wild, its sale rate was like 105%. So like per Switch that was purchased or per console that was purchased, their sell rate was 105.
Yeah, because people were unable to get a Switch, so they still bought the game for later, even if they couldn't get the Switch, basically. So it was like it was outselling the console that it was on.
And honestly, like I bought the game twice, so.
Yeah, that was another thing.
Why?
a lot of people bought the game 2 or 3 times because they had the collector's edition that a lot of people didn't want to open up that had everything that came with it, and then they bought the actual game so they could, have a copy to play. And then some people, whenever they released the, what was it called? The Heroes? No, oh my god, I forgot. It was the version that came with the book. Do you guys know they released it for the holiday sales?
I couldn't tell you.
It was like Breath of the...
I don't know.
Hero...
Daniel, does your kid wear clothes?
Not if he can help it.
Wait, what?
I've been on the podcast 4 times, and 2 times I have seen Daniel's son in his underwear.
Oh,
He just
did I miss something? I was looking
pops in sometimes.
No, guys, I'm not crazy. Daniel, you should know this. We talked about it. What is the second version of Breath of the Wild?
I think it's Explorers,
Explorers
Edition.
It came with like a little mini strategy guide booklet thing. So, yeah.
You really went off on a limb there, Daniel.
I was like 79% sure.
This is a word that I think I remember.
Explorers Edition, yeah. So people bought the like different versions of the collector's edition or the limited edition. Like they had the ones that came with like the Switch pack thing, the protect your Switch, the case. It came with like the poster, the little coin, a bunch of cool stuff. And they had like different versions of the collector's edition that came with the various things. Then they had the actual game, and then for the holiday season to boost sales even more, they had the Explorers Edition that came with the normal game with like, I think it had a new cover on it of Link fighting Calamity Ganon, like really cool anime style artwork. Didn't look anything like the actual game.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Then they are probably, I would say next year, they're going to do like a game of the year or like a complete edition that comes with the DLC bundled in.
Gotta milk us some more.
Yeah, they already have some version of Splatoon that comes with a bunch of like, they have regular Splatoon 2, and then they have like Splatoon 2 like starter pack edition or something like that that comes with a lot of extra in-game items and stuff, if I'm remembering correctly. Anyways, back to the original topic. 3DS. Nintendo.'s going to continue
that's
support.
what we were talking about.
Yeah. I get
Good job,
lost on
Daniel.
these tangents with Zelda and stuff. But with the 3DS support, like, it's good because all the people that's like, like, for some reason I just now bought a 3DS, I don't want them to move on to the next thing. Like, it's bad for them, but in the same way, I don't. Well, I mean, it's good for them, but I don't necessarily believe Nintendo's word on this to be 100%. I think they're trying to please those people that are just now buying the 3DS and instead of the Switch. But to me, when I hear this, like, oh, we're going to continue support on the 3DS for 2019 and beyond, I look at it as that just means it's going to be even longer before we get better versions of these games. Like, everyone that had that was excited for Metroid Samus Returns,
Yes.
like, playing the game,
I'm a Metroid fan here.
I'm sure 99% of the people playing that were like, why can't I play it on the Switch? Like, can I please have this same game on the Switch? And there's a lot of other cool 3DS games that people would like to come to the Switch, and they are now moving their biggest handheld franchise to the Switch. And after Nintendo does that, I don't see too much support actually going into the 3DS. But that word, like, support, can be handled a lot of different ways. Like, the Wii had a brand new game this year.
Yeah.
Like, other than Just Dance?
No. That was the game. Yeah, like Just Dance.
Just Dance 2018.
So it's like Nintendo could say, yeah, we're still supporting the Wii, as in they're still letting games being published for the console. But other than something like that, I don't see them actually supporting the 3DS with any big titles. Like PlayStation, in a similar stance, gave up on the Vita a long time ago. Like, they don't release any huge titles on the Vita unless it's something that can also play on the PlayStation 4, some like cross-play stuff or whatever. But there are still companies that release really good games on the Switch, or not the Switch, but the Vita. So I can see it getting supported, but I don't see it being the focus of Nintendo. But what are your guys' thoughts on that? Do you think like there is going to be like more huge 3DS games being announced, or do you think it's just Nintendo giving market speech?
I don't trust anything Nintendo says ever.
Yeah.
In interviews and things. They don't they don't know.
I mean,
I think it's time to let the 3DS, I think it's time to let it die. So we can, it's been around for almost a decade.
I would
yeah.
I think we'll get another price drop on the 3DS, and maybe they'll have one more new edition for the 3DS, like one crazy color scheme, like the cosmic new 2DS, was it? That was like purple and it had like the stars and everything on it. Was it a new 2DS or was it
The new 3DS XL Galaxy Edition.
Yeah, like I thought that looked pretty cool.
There's
I
too
like
many.
that one.
I've lost count.
Yeah. Alright, but what are your thoughts on that, Kayla? How do you see Nintendo
I
legitimately supporting the 3DS?
want to say that I 100% pass, just because, like, I don't see where they can really go with it now. I mean, like, I have my Nintendo Switch, and I've basically just... My new 2DS XL is just hanging out in my drawer somewhere, and I'll probably only revisit it for demoing and Animal Crossing? Unless they come out with an Animal Crossing for the Switch, then.
Did you see there was, I forgot who it was. It was like some famous actress or someone who has like 10 million Twitter followers posted like, where is Animal Crossing for Switch? And it was like,
No way. Who was it?
it was on Go Nintendo.
I want to say it was me, but I am not famous.
But I have heard you say that.
But have you tweeted that?
Probably.
I mean, I have, but no one noticed me.
Oh. Well, that sucks.
Yep. Story of my life, man.
Yeah. Axel, Daniel, did you guys give your thoughts on how you think Nintendo is going to support the 3DS?
I don't think we've heard from Axel.
I think, I mean, you're definitely right that they might not. I mean, it might just be all kind of hot air at this point. I do think it would be smart to them to keep. I mean, okay, they either come up with a 3DS successor or they continue putting stuff on the 3DS. Mainly because, one, it's a big market at this point, especially with how many people own 3DSs. It's a lot of people, so there's just a lot of people who would buy the product. And as much as the Switch is a portable system, they're kind of lying about that. Switch is a portable system, much like the Vita. It's like a powerful portable system. But part of the reason the Switch is doing so well isn't because it's a portable system. It's because they're pretending it's a home console that you can take portable. Having a literal portable mini system alongside that actually helps that image.
Mm-hmm. Especially with the way that they've separated handheld gaming to portable gaming.
Yeah. And then they have, like, I mean, obviously the Switch is killing it in terms of, with all the indie titles, the small games getting put on it. But I actually have trouble imagining Nintendo doing that themselves. Maybe I'm crazy, but I just have trouble picturing that. So, I don't know. I feel like it would be a very cool idea if they continued doing stuff for the 3DS. I think certainly other companies will be doing so simply because it's good business. There's so many people who would buy it. So many 3DS owners. Whether or not Nintendo does, I'm not sure. They might just start doing small games on the Switch. I couldn't say. But I think the 3DS existing actually helps the Switch's image. Which I think maybe points to if they were going to pick one of the two, they would preserve the 3DS rather than make a new one. That's my thoughts on it.
Do you think that Nintendo will try to move the 3DS audience to the Switch, or do you think they're going to release another console that is definitively going to be like another handheld? Because a while back, I think it was the current president, after he became president or whatever, they were interviewing him about the Switch and the 3DS and the Wii U, and he said something with the 3DS saying that even though the Switch is out and can be used as a handheld console,
yeah,
Nintendo isn't finished with dual screen
development.
Mm-hmm.
So that could have just meant that they're still focusing and creating games that take advantage of the dual screen thing, or it could mean that another 3DS successor could eventually come out that also has the dual screens, but then we have the patent from a couple of weeks ago where Nintendo had like all of the different screens next to the Switch where they all worked together. Do you remember that?
No, I'm afraid.
They had a banana.
Yeah, they used banana as.
Yeah.
So it's
They
like
got a banana.
basically you can take your Switch and 2 or 3 other people can have their Switches and you can put them together and like it'll work as if there's just one image across all of the Switches.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
Yeah, like if you like when you plug multiple monitors up to a computer and it can share the same image across all of them, that's
Yeah.
basically what this is doing. So
Clearly, Axel didn't watch our podcast going over it.
You guys put the podcast on my busiest day of the week.
yeah. All right. So I did the first news story. Daniel did the second. Kayla, Axel, do either of you want to take the next piece of news?
Axel, you take it.
Yes.
Okay.
Take this.
Axel.
The mobile game.
Okay. Let's see, where
Since
is it?
you're the most passionate Nintendo mobile fan.
Am I? Okay. So this comes from Nikkei Asian Review. Okay. Nintendo envisions billion-dollar business in mobile games. Incoming chief on the hunt for next Pokemon Go to complement Switch. Nintendo is applying lessons from Pokemon Go to build up smartphone game operations into a 100 billion yen or $910 million business, its incoming president told Nikkei. From what I can see, smartphone games are the ones I want to expand the most, said Shuntaro Furukawa, who will take the helm in June. The Kyoto-based company has reported stellar earnings. Consolidated sales more than doubled to 1 trillion yen for the year ended March 31st, with operating profit jumping sixfold. This owed much to the hot-selling Nintendo Switch console handheld hybrid. Nintendo has notoriously dragged its feet on smartphone games, only entering the market in March 2016 and releasing just a handful of titles to date. Including revenue from licensing characters, the segment, including mobile games, posted sales of 39.3 billion yen for fiscal 2017, nearly 4% of the total. Should I keep going?
No, it's basically.
I think that's basically the gist of it.
It's,
Yeah.
Nintendo. Some of their games on mobile have been super successful, and some of the games have been the opposite of successful.
Yeah.
Their first big mobile game was Mitomo, and they're closing it down. So that shows
because it was boring.
Yeah. It was like half social app, half game. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like Pokemon Go was a huge success, but that had almost nothing to do with Nintendo. Because that was, I forgot the name of the developers, but like Nintendo.
Niantic?
Yeah, it was Niantic.
Yeah.
The Pokemon Company and Nintendo. And Nintendo had like a small piece of ownership over it, like a very, very teeny tiny. And they released the Pokemon Go trackers or whatever it was, like the little Bluetooth thing that would connect.
The little watches, yeah.
Yeah. But Nintendo is basically seeing all the money that Pokemon Go is making, and they want to put out their own game that does that.
Yeah.
Mario Jump or Mario Run.
Mario Run.
Super Mario Run.
Yeah, there was the meme going around where it's like, why is it Sonic Jump and Mario Run? Because Sonic had a game called Sonic Jump, and then Mario had Mario Run.
Gotta run fast, Mario.
Viger in the chat says, "What's a super chat?" and donated $2 Canadian.
What's a super chat? Oh.
Super chat is because on a lot more famous YouTube channels, the chat usually goes by so fast where there are so many people talking, like when you have hundreds of people in the chat that you can't read them. So super chat allows your chat or your post to be highlighted to where it's guaranteed to be seen by everyone, plus it guarantees the person to see it. And you can, the more you donate, the longer it stays up, and it helps separate yours from everyone else's. So thank you for the $2.
I learned something today.
It's also really good to do if you want to ask questions in the YouTube chat and you feel like we're not acknowledging anything that's happening there. You can super chat it. We'll notice it.
In fairness, we're probably not acknowledging what's happening there.
Yeah.
So,
We
True, I didn't even have it open.
we mostly focus on the chats towards the mailbag segments. But thank
Faith
you,
focuses on
Justin.
the chat towards the mailbag segments.
Yeah. So, there was Sonic Jump, which Sonic is known for running, but his game was Sonic Jump. Mario's known for jumping, but his game was Mario Run. So it's like there's a bit of what's going on here.
It's called Mario Run, but the only thing you can do
Is
in
jump.
that game is jump.
Yeah.
Thanks,
and,
Nintendo.
And Sonic, I think it's the one where it's like there's the middle side, left side, and the right side. And then you
Oh,
can-
like Temple Run?
Yeah, it's basically
Yes,
Sonic's version
but
of
it's
Temple
Sonic.
Run. So
What's
it
the
literally
Sonic?
should be like Sonic Run because that's what you're doing. But weird thing. I think like Sega, Nintendo were like, hey, why don't we troll everyone? And
You know,
Supreme Leader Toad says Mario Walk.
Mario Walk. Yeah.
Isn't that Zelda?
No, that would be Mario Climb.
No.
Depends. But yeah, like Nintendo, they're wanting to have their big push into the mobile game. Mario Jump was very successful. Mario Run, sorry, was very successful. Like the first month or so that it released. I think that was because everybody was excited for like the next big Mario game, which ended up being Mario Odyssey. It was around the holiday season. So everyone had
As
like
Nintendo
$5
do.
or $10 left over that they could purchase the game with. Now they
Yeah.
have the Animal Crossing mobile game, Pocket Camp, I believe.
Which is a genius idea.
Which I think is doing amazing, and not to be like, oh, like I'm an Animal Crossing fan, but I'm actually really impressed.
But you
with...
are.
Yeah. I know. But like, when they announced Pocket Camp, I was like, oh great, another Animal Crossing game that's gonna be a waste of my time because they won't release a full one. But like, there is so much content and they do so many updates for Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. Like, I'm impressed how much energy they put into it. Like,
Yeah.
they did something for like Mother's Day and Children's Day, and there's always like different events and different updates, and they're trying to figure out more ways to incorporate more of how Animal Crossing actually is into
Right.
its mobile game. So
That's cool.
I'm impressed, and the amount of updates they do like keeps me actively playing. And
Yeah.
they also have a lot of microtransactions as well, so people that are like really like diehard can spend money on that, and then
Yeah.
they get more money.
I think
I'm like I stay the hell away from Animal Crossing, but even I'm thinking like that's just a smart idea. Put it on the phone. Like why would you not?
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, it's like I'll be sitting there and I'm like, oh great, like I have Wi-Fi for a bit. Let me go do a couple of things, catch
Yeah.
some fish, maybe paint my van. But yeah, like I think as far as like Nintendo phone apps go, like that one I'm the most impressed with, just because I feel like there's so much that it offers.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
a lot of the cool ideas and features they have for the Animal Crossing smartphone game came from maybe stuff that they wanted to do with like a big Wii U game or on the 3DS, but where the 3DS isn't that, like there's a lot of limitations on what you can do with the 3DS. They ended up just moving or taking those good ideas and putting it on smartphone,
Yeah.
which could be the case. I don't know. But anyways, with Nintendo wanting to do this big push into the mobile games again, they already have some of the games out. Fire Emblem, which we skipped. Have you played the Fire Emblem mobile game? Anyone? No?
I played 2 levels of it,
All right.
and then I stopped.
Uh,
But at the same time, I had like just finished playing through Fire Emblem Awakening, which is really good.
Mhm.
And then I started trying to play that, and I was just like, "What is this?"
Who are your top waifus?
What?
Who are your top waifus?
I enjoy Fire Emblem, but I'm not one of those people who enjoys Fire Emblem. Okay?
Everyone is one of those people.
No.
There was another piece of news. I didn't put it on here, but I can talk about it in like 10 seconds. It was basically the developers of Fire Emblem Warriors and Hyrule Warriors saying that they loved working on Fire Emblem Warriors so much, but they began the game before they really knew what the Nintendo Switch was. So they were originally designing it for the 3DS and the Wii U, I believe, and then they decided to stop the Wii U version and move it to the Switch. And they began development before the new 3DS Fire Emblem games came out. So there was a lot of stuff they wanted to add from those games that they weren't able to add into Fire Emblem Warriors. So they wanted to make a sequel. But Nintendo doesn't want them to make a sequel. And my theory is it's to either make a third franchise Warrior crossover. So I don't know what that would be, like Mario Warriors or Metroid Warriors. I don't know what franchise they would use. But my thought is so they could focus on a third one, or they could do Hyrule Warriors 2.
That's probably going to happen, to be fair.
So, but anyways, back to the mobile thing. I want to ask you guys, what franchise do you think Nintendo is going to focus on next for the big mobile game? They have Animal Crossing, Mario, the failed social media Miitomo half game, half social media thing, and then they have I think that's it. They could still do something with Pokemon, but there's like Zelda, there's Metroid, there's Star Fox. I think an on-rail Star Fox game to where like you just choose the direction that the R-Wing flies in could be really cool, and then you could tap to shoot.
Oh, so kind of like an arcade style almost.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I think something like that could be cool. I don't know if people would actually invest in it. But yeah, what are your guys' thoughts? What type of game do you guys want to see? Really quick, in the chat, there is Ilya Rose, which is one of the first times I've seen her in the comments of a live podcast. If anyone has been watching any of the recent scripted videos, so like the Zelda theories or list videos and stuff, she's the one that's been doing the voiceover that everybody has been saying a lot of nice stuff for. So everyone give big thumbs up for Ilya. So yeah, I think something akin to Phantom Hourglass or Spirit Tracks, since those are complete touch-based Zelda games, like they could literally just port those over, and I think they would work even better than on the 3DS, because
your face
the same, like you'd have the same touch controls and stuff that you would have.
Yeah, but on a system where everyone's used to it.
Yeah, like, and you could even like, so if you look at the normal size of like an iPhone or something,
yeah,
if you have like the top half for the top screen and the bottom half for the bottom screen, that's still larger than the original version of the DS that the games were designed for. So even if you turn your phone vertical and you share each half of the screen for Phantom Hourglass, it's going to be larger than the original game, and the resolution is going to be a lot higher, because instead of like 240p or whatever it was, it's going to be in like HD. So in every way possible, it's like a better version of the game. And you
but there's one part of Phantom Hourglass where there's like a basic stamp, and to like do it, you close the DS, open it up again. And obviously they'd change that if they did it for mobile. They changed it for the Wii U version. But I just imagine someone like trying to like their phone, just like
Nintendo has asked me to break my phone for this game.
On the Wii U, you just open the home menu and then close it.
Oh yeah,
that's it.
They could do that.
The train. Could you hear that?
Yeah, on Spirit Tracks.
The train. There's a train that goes kind of past my house.
Was that an attempt to segue into Spirit Tracks?
No, there's legitimately a train.
But
it's really
Did
loud.
you bribe the train yard, Daniel?
I bribed him. It's 7:31 p.m. I'm gonna be talking about Zelda.
So with Spirit Tracks, the problem that I had playing it on the original 3DS was you have to blow on the flute when you're playing. And you have to use the touch screen to like pick which note you're playing while you're blowing. But on the original 3DS, the microphone's like on the very bottom side.
Yeah.
So like you had to hold on. So if
I know what you did.
If this was the if my phone was the 3DS and the microphone is right here.
Yeah.
Like I would have to blow on it like this while, like, yeah. You can't really get to the touch screen while you're doing it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But I mean, this game, that's you, Jesse, because this game was not for 3DS originally.
No,
It was a
no.
DS game, but
No, but he's right. He don't trust me.
no, I just do the demonstration again. Get your 3DS. And
I know why you guys are laughing now. Shame. But yeah, what franchises would you guys like to see?
Zelda, well, for one.
But like, how would they do it?
I
Would it be
think
a third Phantom
they
Hourglass
will do
style
Zelda,
game?
but I do not want them to.
Here's what you do. Zelda 1 / Link's Awakening / Oracle series gameplay. Persistent world. Give everyone dungeon editor stuff, because that's what people have been talking about a little bit. Super Mario Maker. Let the players make the game world. You have a certain quadrant of the world dedicated to you, and you can design the layout of the area in the area designated to you, and the whole game world is just grids of people's areas.
Okay, but that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
But when you're actually playing it, it's going to be terrible. It will be awful.
Well,
Super Mario Maker to know that when people are left in charge with a palette of amazing tools with tons of options and stuff like ahead of them, one of those people will make an awesome, very interesting, well thought out designed level, and the other 99% of those people will just make garbage, just like filled with like 20 things just stacked on top of each other and enormous, and that's it.
You are very right. But there's always a fix, and here's the fix. Have everyone upvote or downvote the areas, and then rearrange the quadrants so that let's say the upper left or whatever is the first area you go, is the easiest to access area, and then you just put the top rated stuff in the most easily accessible parts of the map, and then you put the lowest rated stuff in the hardest to access parts of the map. Just shift everyone's areas according to their ratings. And you can even make it so it can't be unbeatable, force the player to be able to beat their own thing. And then
So similar like Super Mario Maker, where you have to upload it in Mario Maker.
Yeah.
You have to be able to beat the course. So some people either make a workaround that is like a secret, or they are just impossible people to begin with. Like, I don't know if you've seen like some of the crazy things. It's like, that's not possible. People do it. They have to like time it by 1 pixel at 1/8 of a second to bounce off a thing.
Those frame perfect jumps. I think that, like, I agree. I'd love to see like a Zelda mobile, but I think that if they did do a Zelda mobile, it'd probably be more structured like a pixel dungeon.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the main point is you can just do almost anything. The point of mobile is you can make like tons of small games, and the smaller the game is, the more you can mess around. You can have all kinds of things. They could play like the series that they're based on, or they could not. I mean, let's face it, does Pokemon Go play anything like Pokemon? Does Super Mario Run play anything like Mario? Not really. It's just you can a little bit.
Yeah,
the point is it's a huge playground is the main thing.
I think there was a quote back when they first began making the mobile games. They said that, and this is kind of what they've told, like the team that worked on Hyrule Warriors and some of the other third-party developers that they work with. They tell them to create the games that Nintendo can't. So basically, like, make a mobile game that us at Nintendo wouldn't be able to make on the Nintendo Switch. So focus on something that is creative and uses the platform to take advantage of what it offers, as opposed to making one that could also work on the Nintendo Switch. Which is why, like, Mario Run is basically just like a tap game, as opposed to actually controlling where he goes with like your finger, or like having digital buttons. So, and then like with they told the Mario Cross Rabbids team, like, they don't want
Are you okay?
Like, Nintendo
You okay?
told the Mario Rabbids team that they didn't want Mario to be able to jump, and like they told the Hyrule Warriors team that they weren't allowed to use like big elaborate puzzles or dungeons and stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's why we get these really stripped down obscure versions of these games, and I do wonder how they would be able to do that with Zelda, and I hope it wouldn't be like the last handheld Zelda game, Triforce Heroes, and the last home console Zelda game, Breath of the Wild, had huge focus in clothing and changing the designs and weapons and stuff like that of the characters. And I hope Nintendo wouldn't do what a lot of people are doing, which is like, hey, do you want a new costume? Pay $5 and you can have this digital, like this basic.
Yeah, that would suck.
Mm-hmm.
I hope Nintendo wouldn't do that. I hope they would just be like, hey, here's the game, pay $20 and you unlock everything, as opposed to paying $2 for this, $5 for that, $10 for this.
I mean, it would be good to have that if it was like a ton of extra stuff or extra stuff built onto a huge base of normal stuff. Like that's how they're funding the development costs of adding extra stuff in the long term or something like that. But other than that, yeah, it would be pretty terrible.
Yeah. All right. Do you guys have any final things on the Nintendo mobile side?
Legend of Zelda Go.
Legend of
You
Zelda.
play in dungeons that are procedurally generated based on items you photograph in the real world. It'd be like Scribblenauts. It would recognize certain objects that you photograph, and then you'd get dungeon items of dumb stuff from the real world with powers that they decided to make them.
Beautiful.
I don't
Be
know.
amazing. Daniel's just like, can we not invite him on here anymore?
All right, Kayla, take us to Nintendo.
Done.
All right. Kotaku has posted saying that Nintendo has a level designer job listing for working on the Legend of Zelda games. So the job entails working on dungeons, the field or the map, cutscenes, as well as designing enemies. And the only downside to the 17 people that are watching and anyone after is that the listing is in Japanese. You need to speak Japanese because it's group work. You also have to live in Japan, but they pay nicely. Like, it's a salary that ranges from 34,000 to 74,000, and they pay for your housing allowance, moving allowance, and your daily transportation fees. So,
Nice. Yeah.
Time to learn Japanese.
Yeah.
yeah.
Also game design.
So they have the base Zelda team, and with Breath of the Wild, they hired like so many of the employees that also worked on Xenoblade.
Yeah.
So with this, it looks like instead of like basically hiring a portion of a separate development team, they're hiring people to bring on to their own staff, which most of the development time for Breath of the Wild went into fixing the physics engine, which is now perfected for the most part. So it makes me wonder what this is for. Like, because they won't be, like, they'll probably be doing some tweaks to the physics engine and stuff, but for the most part, it's done. All they have to do is just build the world and the levels and everything, which is kind of what they mentioned with level designers and stuff.
Yeah.
But I hope with, like, the level designers, like, designing levels, when you talk about Zelda, I don't necessarily think of, like, the overworld. That makes me think of dungeon design.
Yeah, but they do mean overworld. They talked about this.
Yeah, but
That's the misconception that everyone makes is when they think of levels, they're like, well, the only thing that's like a level in Zelda is the dungeons. Well, no, but level design is not just about a specific kind of area. Even the guy who designs the open world maps in Metroid is a level designer. So.
yeah. So what do you guys see for this? Like, since they are hiring to build up their team,
Yeah.
to me this says they have pre-production on the game, or like whatever,
Definitely.
already finished. So they have the ideas, the concepts, the story, what they want the game to be about is already finished, and now they're hiring the people to actually build it or create it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm taking from this. But what do you guys see from this? Are you excited that there is some sort of news for the next Zelda game? Like, at least we have something mentioning it. We have, a few months ago they mentioned that they were like ending DLC and focusing on the next big Zelda game, and now it seems whatever phase they're at, they've moved on from the concept to the actual designing phase. So that has me excited. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? Daniel, start with you.
Ooh.
That's a good thought.
That's like the whole thought.
That is pretty much. No, it's good. It's nice to have confirmation. Obviously, I knew that pretty much as soon as Breath of the Wild was done, because as is the trend, they usually begin work immediately on selling. No time to party.
No.
They have time for one milkshake each, and then it's back to work. And only one. No, don't go for seconds. It's nice to see them bringing like new people on board, because that's you have a new creative perspective, a new fresh set of eyes on the project that might think of things that the existing team wouldn't think of. Not to say that the existing team is not creative, because they make some of the games existence. Maybe I'm biased about that detail, but
we all are. Don't worry.
And they just made a whole game about doing things differently than they have before.
Yeah.
But even still, to bring someone in, and even if it's someone who says, "Hey, this is something that was awesome that you guys missed this time. Let's bring it back and fuse it in with what you've got existing." Just, I don't know. I'm ranting, but it's good. It's good. Fresh faces are good. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Certainly worked well for Breath of the Wild, which is like selling amazingly well.
Yeah. And like winning Game of the Year, however many different times that they won, and then the various other rewards, whatever they did, apparently it worked out. Like, the biggest complaint that people had with Breath of the Wild was that it didn't feature like traditional dungeons. So it's like, if they can make a game just like Breath of the Wild, but then just add in the thing that everybody missed from the old games.
Also more enemy types.
Yeah. It's like
bring back the dongos.
If Breath of the Wild was a 10 out of 10, and the next game comes out and it's even better, would you be able to give it an 11 out of 10? Because it's like, this game was a 10 out of 10, but this one's even better.
Rating subjective.
I feel like no matter what, we'd probably still have areas where like this game was better in this sense, but this game was better in this sense. So
definitely,
I think that they would still 10 out of 10.
We need underwater exploration and loft wings
and dodongos.
I'm
so hungry. I could eat
and more choo-choos.
Yes, and they should make all of the cutscenes in Breath of the Wild 2 look like they were pulled from the CDI games.
Choo-choos.
And also, just the cutscenes cut to 4:3 ratio. The whole game's in widescreen, and then the cutscenes just cut there in 4:3 ratio.
They need
that would just be perfect.
More of a focus on Zelda's booty.
Oh.
My
main thought when I look at this article, it just kind of makes me wonder, like, look at you guys fantasizing over Zelda's booty over there.
I didn't fantasize. I just was like, and that's it. That was the thought went in, it left.
Daniel lost it. He couldn't keep it anymore. Anyways, but I think this kind of, to me, says that maybe someone on their design team moved on, which, would be crazy. Why would you ever leave Nintendo?
Maybe they moved on in the sense that they died.
Maybe they're replacing them. Yeah.
Like Breath of the Wild, they worked them so hard. The one guy worked until he just died, at his desk. And then they're like, great.
The big Nintendo cover up of 2017.
Kind of news that you don't really tell anyone either. It's like, yeah, it was an under the table funeral. We need someone new now.
Well, the actual thing with this is like a week from when
we're getting demonetized.
Nintendo made all of the all of the announcements where they were changing around management and stuff.
Yeah.
So it could be a lot of people were moved on to a higher up position. So now they need people to fill in those lower roles of designers and stuff, where I imagine a lot of people ended up retiring or moving on to other projects.
Or retire, or moving on with their fat stacks.
Yeah, and this, like, we're assuming this, it could be for like the Breath of the Wild follow-up, but this could be for like a handheld style Zelda game. So who knows? But anyways,
Also in the chat there, Time to Chill says, "Can we just get Pikmin 4?" And I guess you're right. Can we please? I was actually playing Pikmin 3 today.
They have.
It's so good. It's so good.
What was it called? Pikmin 4. It's like Hey Pikmin, or
That doesn't count. That's Hey Pikmin.
Oh, Hey
There's
Pikmin
none-
does not
it
count.
does
Hey
not
Pikmin
count.
is so bad.
It's not the same thing as Pikmin. Pikmin is a real-time strategy in which you have to micro a large group of small little creatures that you have enslaved. And Hey Pikmin is get from point A to point B.
Gotta get the details right.
Yeah, gotta get point A to point B. That's Hey Pikmin.
that Pikmin Battle Royale.
Now that's what I want. Axel,
So I
why
don't
didn't you watch our stream? It was brutal.
So I don't know. This news is really exciting to me because I think I've actually talked about this on the podcast before. The level design in Breath of the Wild is like the one thing I kind of really don't like about the game. Is a lot of the areas just play the same. I didn't feel like there was a lot of work put into really designing the areas to play in their own ways. And you okay there?
Did the bowl let out?
Yeah.
Did the bowl give up on you?
Did the ball
I fixed it. The bowl.
bowl over? No.
Just get books.
Oh,
Just put some books under there instead, Kayla. Why a bowl?
All right, everybody.
Kayla's laptop is balanced on a bowl precariously, like a bowl from IKEA. Okay, I think everyone in the chat just needs to know that.
So, give final thoughts on the Zelda news before we move on to the last piece.
I'm pumped. I think it's a good sign that we're gonna get, improvement on the one thing everyone is talking about being the weak point of Breath of the Wild, which is the dungeons, and the one thing that only I am talking about being the weak point of Breath of the Wild, which is all the other level design. I think it's just a good sign in general that that's something they're putting attention on. It's just cool to hear. And like you said, it's just a good sign that they are doing more what worked with Breath of the Wild, bringing new people on, expanding. Honestly, they wouldn't have even needed someone to leave. Maybe they're just going to make a bigger game.
It's true, actually, because Breath of the Wild had a larger development team than any other Zelda game in history before that.
Yeah. So, yeah, those are my thoughts.
All right,
Good thoughts. 10 out of 10.
Everybody's good.
Ben.
Yeah.
Our last piece of news of the day. I'll try to make this a little bit quicker so we can move on to the podcast. But so the rumors.
To the podcast.
Move on to like the other parts of the podcast. No, so
Yeah, man.
the rumors and leaks suggest that Luigi's Mansion for like the GameCube remake for the 3DS is Nintendo's attempt at seeing how they want to prioritize Luigi's Mansion 3 for the Switch. So basically, Luigi's Mansion, the original, did well. Luigi's Mansion 2, Dark Moon, did well. And now they're bringing the original to the 3DS. And from what I've been told, which could just be someone completely making up stuff to me, but like especially over the past couple of months, like rumors have been really bad and like leaks and stuff. But some of them turn out to be true, some of them turn out to be complete nonsense. Like I think the Link's Awakening 3DS thing is complete nonsense. But yeah, so anyways, the rumor for this suggests that this is essentially Nintendo testing the market, and if it sells well, because again, Luigi's Mansion 2 on the 3DS sold well, so if this remake still sells well, then it'll show Nintendo that people are still interested in playing a Luigi's Mansion game. So instead of investing all of the time and money and resources into making Luigi's Mansion 3, they had Grezzo remake this game and put it out because it was a very cost-efficient game, since they already have the engine make, they already have the original assets from the GameCube, so it didn't take too much work. So they're putting it out, and if it sells well, then they're going to prioritize Luigi's Mansion 3 and put more of a focus on it to get it out sooner. And if it doesn't sell well, then they'll keep Luigi's, like they'll still work on Luigi's Mansion 3, but it's not going to be prioritized. So it'll be like a year or two from now as opposed to like just a year, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
meanwhile, Greslow's just like, we just want to make a new game.
Yeah. It seems like
No,
anytime
you cannot.
anytime
No
Nintendo
game for you.
wants-
No, you make remakes.
Yeah. Anytime Nintendo wants a remake, they just call up Grezzo.
Oh, Nintendo's calling. Hey, Nintendo, we had a great idea for another remake. Well, we just had this idea that. Okay, yeah, we'll do it. Okay.
All right. So this, I want to know what your guys' thoughts on this is, and like, what would you want Luigi's Mansion 3 to be? So essentially, do you think Luigi's Mansion for the 3DS is Nintendo seeing how the interest for it is to see if they want to prioritize it? Is that just completely made up nonsense? And what would you like to see from Luigi's Mansion 3 that weren't in the other two versions? Starting with you, Kayla.
That's a really good question. Yeah, I feel like they might just be testing it out because whenever I talk to people, like, I really like playing Luigi's Mansion. Like, I played it a lot. And I find that a lot of people that I talk to that are really into playing video games aren't so much into it, and a lot of them haven't actually even played any of the Luigi's Mansion games. I know. Terrible people. So yeah, they might be trialing it. I was actually talking to my boyfriend the other day, and we were talking about how there is a company around here, and they're talking about doing like QA testing for Luigi's Mansion. So, but I kind of looked into that, and I think that might have been a QA testing for the one that came out on 3DS, Dark Moon or Dark Side of the Moon or whatever it was called.
Okay, he's back.
Luigi's Mansion.
Axel!
What the heck, Axel? And I didn't even notice he was gone until he came back up, and he was like,
He's part of the problem.
Axel, you need to go play Luigi's Mansion.
I will. Trust me.
I don't know what I would want to see from a Luigi's Mansion, though. And I have
I'm surprised at you. I would think you of all people. Wait, am I mixing? I'm mixing people up, aren't I? Never mind. Shut up.
All right. So yeah,
I just want to see a Ouija board in the game somewhere, and someone just says a Luigi board. That's all I want.
Yes. Also, can we swap Luigi out for Mario? Can it be Mario's Mansion now?
But what about the Luigi board?
Oh, that's okay. So, do you guys know the Wii U Nintendo Land that has the the Luigi's Mansion minigame?
Yeah, it looks really fun.
So that is what I would want. I would want it to be Luigi and Mario, and then like you could have two people go around like different mansions trying to solve things. So that's the feature that I would want to see. So yeah, going to you this time, Axel. What would you like to see? So basically, to recap, because I thought of a better way to explain the rumor or the leak or whatever it is, Luigi's Mansion 3 from the rumor is 100% coming. It's in development. It's just how well Luigi's Mansion on the 3DS sells is depending on how soon we're going to get Luigi's Mansion 3. So if it bombs, then they're just going to take their time with Luigi's Mansion 3. But if it's a success, then they're going to rush and try to get it out. So,
Punchline, if it does well, they're just going to remake Luigi's Mansion 2. No, I'm kidding. I think Nintendo always comes up with a good reason for their remakes. Look at, like, what was it? They were trying to use the Wind Waker to test the HD stuff on the Wii U, and then they just said, oh, well, let's just remake the whole game. But let's get real. The real reason is because it's easy and makes money. But they usually seem to always have another reason for it, too. So I think it could be true or not. I have no idea. I will say the one thing that they should put in the game is Waluigi.
Waluigi.
Not a
version.
Luigi board.
They should just have all four, like Waluigi,
Oh, yeah.
Wario, Mario.
What if Waluigi's the bad guy? He's like the evil landowner, like, uncle.
What is everyone doing in my house?
Like, what if Luigi has to go, like, visit his long lost brother's house, and he's like the creepy owner of the house type character? It'd be amazing.
No, it would.
They all think it's a haunted mansion, and it just turns out to be Waluigi's normal house.
Yeah. No, see, like I would love it to be like Waluigi calls like Luigi or Mario to come and like get all the ghosts out of his house, but as you go through the house you're like looking at like the family portraits or like there's just like the weirdest rooms. Like he has a room just for like obscure clown stuff where he has a separate room for like that's just like surrounded in polka dots on the walls, and like as you're looking around the mansion you're just like, Waluigi is the weirdest uncle anyone could ever have.
And what if all of the bad guys and bosses are actually just like dressed up Waluigi clone characters that are like his family? And that's like the gimmick of the game, is all the ghosts are just like creeps.
I don't know about that.
It's gonna be like one of those movies where Eddie Murphy plays everybody in the cast. Everyone's Waluigi, though.
Waluigi is King Boo. So instead of like, you know, the laughs that like the boos make or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Instead of that, it's just like the Waluigi. Like instead of hearing like the normal boo sound, you could just hear like wah wah wah. That's the laugh.
I approve.
So, Kayla, you gave your thoughts. Axel, did you finish yours?
Yeah, I'm good.
Right. Daniel, Luigi's Mansion
What?
3.
A Luigi board.
A Waluigi board.
That's all I want. That's my only. I just need it to be somewhere in the game that there's a Ouija board, and so someone makes the joke.
No, it's
Where Luigi's like,
so-
"Oh, Ouija."
No, like, so King Boo captures Waluigi and Wario, and so someone calls him like, "Oh, you gotta go save Wario, or you gotta go save Waluigi," and Luigi's just like, "Why? Like, do we have to?"
What if like the first half of the game is Waluigi's creepy family, and then the second half of the game is actually King Boo, and the whole time you're like questioning, why am I saving Waluigi from King Boo? He's such a jerk. He was the villain of like the entire game up until this point.
That's bad.
Nintendo, if you're watching,
Yeah, you guys gotta do
I
that.
have ideas for you.
ideas that might not make money, but artistically speaking,
No, that would make money. You know it would. Then sell the game on their own.
Ouija's Mansion.
All
Oh
right.
yeah.
So the final part of this is with Grezzo being the one that remade Luigi's Mansion. Do you think this, because the rumor was that they were working on some sort of Zelda game, some people thought it was a reimagining or remake of Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
But now we find out that they were working on Luigi's
Link
Mansion.
Between Islands.
Yeah, that was what they called it, Link Between Islands. Oh, that was horrible.
No.
So that's a bridge. A link between islands is a bridge.
No.
Yeah. So do you think like this was just a small segment of their team and they could still be working on another project, or yeah?
I mean, it's possible, but I think it does shoot that rumor in the foot, to be honest.
All right. Well,
Which is unfortunate, but hey.
I guess that brings us to our.
Just shut down all of Jesse's dreams. He's just so sad now.
No,
He's like,
I want a third Hero of Time game more than anything. Like the Link's Awakening thing, if it was real, that would be cool. But I want a third Hero of Time. All right.
oh.
So I think we can quickly go through this. Again, it's Easter eggs or Link references or cameos in other games. I got Mario Kart 8 on there, but that's
Because I'm pretty sure that guy with the hat
yeah.
might be Link.
Which one? Which hat?
I didn't
That's
put Hyrule
Luigi!
Warriors because I thought it was an obvious thing, but Yeah. Are you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, I will do another intro for this.
All right.
And then, yeah, we can get started. So everybody in the chat, this is our top 5. All right. What's up, everybody? I am Jesse, or Game Over Jesse as all of you all. I suck at this. What's up, everybody? I am Jesse, or Game Over Jesse as all of you may know me. And here with us, as always, for the Hylian Gamescast top 5 discussion is Daniel. Yes.
Me. That's me.
And to my right is Axel. Nice. And below Axel is Waluigi. I mean, Kayla.
Yeah, I'm just gonna respond to Waluigi.
All right.
Thanks.
So, we are going to be discussing the top 5 Zelda or Link crossovers. This is more so cameo appearances where Link is mentioned or hinted at or shown, but canonically it's not necessarily Link, aside from a few of these like in Sonic Lost Worlds and Mario Kart 8, but the others are just like crazy references. So our first one on the list, and we're excluding Hyrule Warriors because I feel it's too obvious, but our first...
Too obvious.
Yeah. Our first on the list is Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. So if you guys aren't aware, there was, I think this was actually cut from the game, but you can still see, like, it's still programmed in the game and you can access it, but you need, like, to dissect the code or whatever it is. Anyways, there's a part where you're in the cafe, Starbeam's Cafe is what it's called, and there's scenes where various Nintendo characters come up, like Samus comes up and other Nintendo characters, and they give you an item or offer you something. And apparently, Link, in his scene, he shows up and offers you... Oh gosh, I forgot what it was.
Milk.
No, like, it's like... I thought I had the right page linked, but I didn't. So
I keep expecting you to say something dirty.
No, like Link comes up and he offers you like something that's like Zelda related for Mario, and like there was all these other characters like Olimar, Wario, Fox, McCloud, Samus, even the Excitebike guy. And it's
one of these is not like the others.
Yeah. So I just want to know, did you guys ever play Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga?
I've never played the games, but they've looked incredible, and I've heard great things about them, so they're on the list at some point.
All right.
Same answer.
Same answer.
The exact same
I never had a
answer?
Game Boy Advance, so no, I did not play them.
They're on 3DS now, though.
Oh, well. Let me write on that.
Oh, yeah,
It's funny because when...
Yes.
When I first opened this, I was like, wait, I don't understand. Like, where is Link? Like, where does Link come in? So I was thinking, like, maybe the bean juice came from the guy that you buy the magic beans from. You guys
That's some deep Zelda lore.
juice. But nope. Link just shows up. He gives you a present. He drinks the bean juice.
Right.
Also, I like the names of the bean juice. One of them is like a woohoo bean or a woohoo blend, which I think might be
There's
like a
woohoo
Sims
blends
thing.
and hoo-hoo blends.
So I apologize for linking the wrong page, but it's still on the same website. It's just a different article. So when Link shows up, the cashier says, "Whoa, Link, the hero of ... What is it now? Anyway, long time no see, buddy." Which implies Link has been there before.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Did you get lost in the dungeon again? What? You're having trouble finding the fairy fountain. Oh, it's game over. And your bottles are all empty? Are your hearts...
What is this, Ready Player One?
Are your hearts filled now? And then Link gives... okay, so it says these characters would also give the bros, meaning Mario and Luigi, different items. And it says, instead of getting the Great Force, which is what you get in the game, which is an item in Mario, Luigi, Superstar Saga, he gives the Triforce.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
He just gives it up like that?
Apparently.
He had it?
Does he know what he's doing?
He's like, yeah, I don't need this anymore. Here you go.
For because Daniel is a fan of Metroid, Samus Aran, her conversation goes as the cashier saying, "Whoa, a power outage. Yikes. Samus Aran, I see you're rocking and rolling as usual. Looks like your energy tanks are empty. Sorry, but can't you give your Hulumbian to Samus?" Hulumbian? Is that something from Metroid? Hulumbian?
Is it Hulu Bean?
Hulu?
Yeah. It's
Hulumbian.
you combine 15 Woo beans and 10 Who beans, and you get a Hulumbian juice.
Okay.
It's like a Colombian coffee.
Yeah.
Am I the only one getting these puns?
So,
I don't drink coffee. What
I
do
know
you want from me?
what it is.
Oh, that is
Coffee.
right. So, anyways, the items that are mixed up is you get the Game Boy Horror instead of the Game Boy Horror SP. You get Wario's Gold instead of the Greed Wallet. You get a gold ring instead of the bonus ring. You get UV lamp instead of a cobalt necktie. Who gives them the necktie? An energy tank instead of the power grip, and the Triforce instead of the Great Force. I just thought this was really interesting because in the video, you see like a weird sprite of Link walking in, just casually strolling along a coffee thing. But anyways,
Wait.
He gets a day off too, man.
yeah.
I'm also reading this article, and I clicked on it because apparently Olimar was supposed to be in it. And so what Olimar was supposed to say was he names Mario Marlio, which is a complete anagram of Olimar, and mistakes Luigi for a dangerous beast. He's so
I just realized that Daniel is Luigi and Jesse is Mario.
Ooh.
What? We
And I'm
are.
Waluigi.
How's that?
So is that? So you know who that makes me, right?
I'm confused.
Waluigi?
Really.
Yoshi? Toad?
I thought I was
Waluigi.
Waluigi. What in tarnation?
Wario.
No, he's Wario, not Waluigi. Alright, our second
Ah,
reference comes from the Final Fantasy series, the very first Final Fantasy, actually. And it says, in the iOS, Game Boy Advance, PlayStation Portable versions of the original Final Fantasy, a gravestone in Elfheim reads, "Here lies Link." It is commonly believed that the grave is a reference to Link, as the residents of the village with long ears and green tunics, similar to the hero's clothes. In the NES version, the gravestone says, "Here lies Erdrick 837866, rest in peace," a character from the Dragon Quest series, rather than Link. But in
Nintendo
the
was like, no,
Yeah.
you can't put that in.
but in the Famicom version, so that was just the English version. They
Okay.
changed it to Dragon Quest.
Wait, so in the English version they changed it to the series that was only Japan?
But in all of the other translations and the original Japanese, it's a gravestone for Link, and everybody in the town dresses like Link. So I thought that was a little neat reference. Were you guys aware of
Yeah,
this
that's
one as well?
Probably is
But
back
they
in
didn't-
those days.
It
Final
implies
Fantasy actually
Link
took.
dies, though. So
Well, yeah, but he dies in every
Well-
game. Everyone dies, Jesse.
We all know
Right,
Jesse
yeah.
loves his Link is dead theory. It's his favorite theory. So this is just more evidence to put towards it.
Daniel's right.
This is just more evidence for the theory, Jesse. Because his grave is there, so he died.
Jesse's disappointed in us.
it goes on to say, in Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, a blue sword titled Master Sword can be found. It's one of the most powerful swords in the game and is thought to be a reference to the legendary blade from Zelda Mythos.
It's thought to be a
Yeah,
reference.
thought to be a
There's a slim chance, but
Could
Yeah.
be. You
Let's
never
see,
know.
there's-
It could be any-
Wow, I thought Final Fantasy Tactics Advance was a lame follow-up to Final Fantasy Tactics, but now I'm gonna have to go find that sword.
All right. Daniel, would you like to take us to our Sonic Lost Worlds reference?
Okay. Once it loads. So in Sonic Lost Worlds, this one's a bit on the nose. There's a Legend of Zelda zone. You basically go to Hyrule. Sonic dresses as Link. You get to ride a Loftwing, so that pretty much makes it Jesse's favorite thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much the gist.
Yeah, so the coolest part of this was it almost
DLC
forced me
though.
to buy the Sonic game. But it's a bonus level. You start it out and there's like Link flying around on the Skyloft, and as you venture through, I think you can find like rolling Gorons and stuff like that. And
Cool.
it's basically Hyrule filled, and then it goes into Death Mountain a little bit. But it looks really cool. Like, the way that Link looks in it, it's one of the best visual styles that I've seen, and it's a Sonic game, which is weird. Because it's essentially... What?
Sorry.
I was going to say it's essentially Skyward Sword, but what it would have possibly looked like if it was just made from the ground up for the Wii U as opposed to the Wii. But you do see Link flying around on the loft wing, Sonic's dressed as Link. It's really, really cool.
I was gonna say, because like when I looked at this page, I was like, The Legend of Zelda Zone. Am I being trolled right now? Why is Sonic dressed like Link?
It's a real thing. Yep.
Did not know.
Yeah. Some of the trivia says, when opening a treasure chest, Sonic will use an animation very similar to the one used by young Link in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Another animation from the same game can be seen when using a black bomb color power and exploding next to a gossip stone, in which it will take off like a rocket, similar to when a bomb is used on one in Ocarina of Time. Another game mechanic from the same game is the DLC also. What is this DLC also? When Sonic walks by a gossip stone, a fairy will come out. If Sonic walks by it and has any lost... Okay, never mind. And has lost any hearts, he will be healed by the fairy. Sorry, I'm having a hard time seeing, guys. In Ocarina of Time, if Link plays out a lullaby, a gossip stone, a fairy would come out, and it could be used to heal Link. Sonic starts in the zone with 3 hearts, the number the player starts with in most Legend of Zelda games, and can find 3 more for a total 6, the number the player starts in The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Attacking the Cuckoos found in the zone will cause them to swarm and attack Sonic, similar to the Cuckoos' behavior in the Legend of Zelda series. The first and second halves of the level represent different parts of the Legend of Zelda games. The first half represents Hyrule Field overworld that has appeared in several of the Legend of Zelda games. The second half represents dungeons that the series is famous for, particularly drawing inspiration from fire-based dungeons. This is the second time Sonic has crossed over in the Zelda universe, the first being Super Smash Bros. Brawl. This is the only zone in Sonic Lost World to not have a cartoony design inspired by the Mario series. So,
I was just gonna say, I'm actually watching one of the playthrough videos right now, and I was like, yeah, it looks very different. It also makes me wonder if they knew what they were doing when they made this game, because you see Link's flying around on a skyloft, but they're in a very, like, Twilight Princess feeling Hyrule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are you guys aware of the Link reference in Super Mario RPG?
Loosely.
Loosely. Okay.
He's sleeping in the hotel.
All right.
Link's always sleeping.
Oh, that's actually pretty hilarious now that you think about it.
So, Axel, you can take this one. If you want to go click on the link.
Yeah, it's just the wiki page, right?
Yeah, and then go down to cameos
Sorry,
and
the link.
references.
Sorry. That's all.
Okay, yeah, I see.
All right, and then the top one is Link. And then if you see some of the other characters, if you want to read those as well, you can.
Wait, where is... I don't see Link here.
What? It's at the very top of
yeah,
cameos.
it's the very top one at the cameos and references.
Here, wait.
So...
Not on the page I'm on. Oh, wait, there it is. Cameos and references.
You
Link
found
can be
it.
found sleeping in Rosetown in the Rosetown Inn after beating Bowser in the Forest Maze. When talked to, a jingle that normally sounds when a secret is discovered in the Legend of Zelda series plays, along with a text box saying, ... referencing Link's normally silent role in his game.
Or he could have just been sleeping. You know.
Yeah, good point.
Normally people won't.
He is
talk.
sleeping, so...
Daniel, there's a Samus Aran reference there too.
Yes. She's also
Yeah, and if you've ever
sleeping
seen
in
the
bed.
sprite of Samus in full power in the full power suit in a bed, it's friggin' adorable.
it's a little hilarious. But yes, she's also sleeping. And when you talk to her, she'll say she's resting up for Mother Brain. And then that's pretty much that's it. Just
Yeah.
having a snooze. Is that all of them, Jesse?
No, there's
On
one
our
more.
list of 5?
Kayla.
Because there's one more I want to add on there after.
Hello.
I didn't link this because I thought it was obvious. The Mario Kart 8 cameo. Can you explain Link in Mario Kart 8?
If you play Mario Kart 8, well, actually, in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you get all of the DLC. In Mario Kart 8, if you hate yourself, you're gonna pay for the DLC, so that way you can have Link. And
I did it.
you can play as Link. They have Hyrule Castle, and you can go through and you collect rupees instead of coins. That's all I got.
Nice. All right, Daniel, what is your bonus reference?
It's a bonus one.
If you say Hyrule Warriors, Axel will smack you.
Oh,
It's gonna happen.
Guess I won't be saying that. No, what it is in Donkey Kong Country 2 at the very end of the game.
Explain this to me, because when I was a kid and I beat Donkey Kong Country 2 and I seen that, I thought it was to let you choose which character you wanted to play through the game as.
No.
That's what I thought it was when I was a kid. So explain it.
So what it is it's Cranky's Game Heroes. So Cranky Kong being the loving, caring grandfather type character that he is, ranks you in comparison to there was a pop-up that was really loud just now. I jumped a little. That was sorry. It was just a really loud pop-up right in my ear. Anyways, he has like a ranking. So if you like beat the game, I think if you get 101% or a really good time, you'll actually be in there number 1. But if not, it'll have Mario as in the number 1 spot, Yoshi in the number 2 spot, and Link in the number 3 spot.
Yeah, because the whole part of the game is you're supposed to prove that you're a hero. Cranky hasn't judged you worthy yet or not, or whatever.
Yeah, because Cranky is a jerk.
Yeah, he's
just no, Kayla, he's just very...
He's just
cranky.
Fashion. Okay.
Come on, Daniel! You had to have seen that coming a mile.
I don't know how I didn't.
Actually,
is Cranky like his name?
Actually, there's another one we missed too.
His name's Donkey Kong. Though that's the thing, because he's the original Donkey Kong from the arcade. So I think Cranky is just that nickname that stuck. You know, he got old. Everyone just started calling him Cranky Kong.
He's like, oh, thanks, guys.
Right, so
it just made him crankier.
Before we move on to the mailbag, do you guys? I think Axel, you were going to mention one, but do you guys have your own cameos or references that you remember?
Oh, someone in the chat, Master JD, said Soul Calibur 2.
Oh yeah.
Good point.
Only on the GameCube.
A ton of like random items from the game, like even the bug catching net show up as alternate weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the big Goron sword, but he does it one-handed. Just like, is his wrist gonna be okay?
In Super Mario 3D Land, there World 5-2 is actually an overhead level that you do, and it's basically a little Zelda dungeon, kind of like in the style of Zelda 1.
I remember that. That was really cool.
Yeah, that's all. That's all I had.
Do you have your own reference?
3D World. That's similar. Overhead style dungeon, and you have to there's like a door you can only open if you have the fire flower and you light the torches. And then the Zelda jingle that plays, and then the door opens.
Sweet.
It's a nice little nod in 3D World.
All right.
For
Kayla,
both of us that played that game.
Do you have your cameo or reference involving Link that you can think of?
I want to say Animal Crossing, but I feel like that's cheap. Animal Crossing, you can get all...
Jesse said Mario Kart.
Yeah.
You can choose Animal Crossing.
Well, see, no, the only reason I put Mario Kart in there is because I knew people... I wanted to getting, like, obscure Link cameos or references, and I thought there'd be people in the comments being like, what about Mario Kart? What about Hyrule Warriors? But it's like, those are obvious things, so... That's why they weren't on there.
Smash Brothers.
I didn't actually play the first Splatoon, but I heard that there was a Zelda Easter egg in one of their levels where there's an Octorok, which people didn't really notice because it's
it's just the sprite of it is spray painted on the wall, like an 8-bit Octorok sprite from Zelda 1.
Oh, nice.
It's on a wall as a graffiti. It's neat.
That's cool.
All right. Well, thank you guys, and we are ready to take Let's do 2 questions each. Is that going to be good for everybody?
Sorry,
Sure.
I'm popping today because like I worked today. I went to the dentist. I went to the gym. I just ate like 3 cookies for dinner.
You gonna be okay?
What's up, everybody? I am Jesse, or Game Over Jesse, as all of you may know me, and we are finally at the Zelda Mailbag for the 30th episode of the Hylian Gamescast. Below me, you can see our co-host Daniel. To his right, you can see our other co-host Kayla, and above Kayla is Axel from Axel the Beast, his own YouTube channel where he does his own Zelda Mailbag, The Curiosity Shop. So, we are here to do, well, our own Zelda Mailbag to answer your questions that you can send in at patreon.com/GameOverJesse. Comment them below in the comments or head over to our Discord where we have a chat dedicated to answer questions. So our first question comes from... Actually, Kayla, you pick.
what the heck?
Yeah, because
Choose
she wasn't
Wisely.
she wasn't on the last mailbag, so she does the first this time. And I need to look for my question, so.
I hope I pick your question. Just
Out of spite.
spite.
Any day now.
Oh. I was just reading one from Losing Limo.
Okay.
It's not really. I don't know if it's really a question, or maybe if this is like a question because we all know that Jesse's actually Nintendo. But Lego, like, would they ever partner with Nintendo and bring us some official Nintendo-related sets? And when I read that, I thought like that would be awesome because I remember like playing like Harry Potter Lego,
Yeah.
all of the Star Wars Lego. If I could get Legend of Zelda Lego or Animal Crossing Lego, my life would be set.
It won't be Lego, though. Because
Yeah.
Nintendo, maybe not Nintendo, but there's already Mega Constructs, which is the off-brand Lego, basically, does Pokemon sets already.
Oh yeah, I know they're
So-
saying also in this question that Nintendo has Kinect sets, but who even uses Kinects?
Clearly somebody.
If they did release Lego Zelda stuff, I think it would be more likely it would be an even larger collaboration, so an actual Lego Zelda game. And that would release alongside the Lego toys. So
Yeah.
like the toys would promote the game would promote the toys. And
Yeah.
I could see it happening, especially with Nintendo like being more lenient with third parties now.
Mm-hmm.
So like we get Hyrule Warriors, Fire Emblem Warriors, Mario Cross Rabbids. Like the last time that they were this lenient with their stuff, the Philips thing happened. So,
We do not speak of it!
I think
We're gonna get
past-
demonetized.
Yeah, I think we're past that though, because it was a mix of like the Philips partnership, the Mario movie, the Zelda cartoons, all of that
Yeah.
kind of made Nintendo just be super strict with their stuff. But now like they're coming out with another Mario movie. They're letting a mobile game developer have control of all of their franchises to make whatever mobile games they want. They're partnering with third parties they've never partnered with before to release different like side story games and stuff. So yeah, I could totally see, like, I would be more surprised if it didn't happen than if it did. So like if you looked at the next 5 to 10 years and there wasn't a Lego Zelda game, I would be surprised. Because I think, maybe not Zelda, but I think a Lego Nintendo-esque game is going to happen eventually. They've already done everything else they can with Mario and Zelda, so
Yeah.
like this is...
Why not Lego?
Yeah, Nintendo lately has been like they want to break away from like tradition with their games,
Yeah.
Also, if they
Well-
brought out Lego for like Zelda, you'd have all the people who already buy Lego getting it because it's a cool looking set, and suddenly you'd bring in all of the really hardcore Zelda fans who see the branding and just buy it.
Yeah.
Without me, that's me. So, yeah, it would sell like.
Are they both you,
hotcakes.
Daniel?
Yes.
All right.
That's your point.
But yeah, I guess Axel, you haven't gave your thoughts on this.
Actually, I'm a I could say was, but it's not really true. I am a huge Lego fan. I used to subscribe to the Lego Club magazine and stuff. I was a massive fan of Bionicle in particular when Lego did that series. A while back when I was still working at Zelda Dungeon before I disappeared, there was news about a big petition because I guess
disappearance or the second.
Were there two?
He means the one like just now.
Like the recent.
No, like the 4-year one.
Yeah.
Tabs
Yeah.
on your life.
So in case you didn't know, Kayla, Axel died 6 years ago.
Welcome back to the land of the living.
Shortly after
Good to be
Skyward Sword
back.
released.
Not shortly. It's like a year.
The game killed him. He was playing it too much and he died. They found his body slumped from the TV.
I had to get an operation on my wrist.
I remember the week Skyward Sword
I don't know if you're
came
joking.
out, because at that time, I was one of the people. What was the? Moss gave me like this weird title, the news coordinator, or something like that, to where like I was scheduling the news and everything, and
That was you.
yeah, I was.
Wow, I'm remembering things all wrong. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Axel suddenly remembering that he hates you.
Okay, so until Bastion. So until Bastion came in, it was me and someone else was like in charge of the news team. But I remember the week that Skyward Sword came out, all of the news writers just disappeared for like a week or two, and then they slowly started coming back. Because like
you know what they were doing.
yeah, I remember, but it was like I remember like there would always be like 3, 4, 5 different news stories that you would have to schedule for the day, and then all of a sudden there was just like 1 or 2 news stories, and you looked and like everyone was just like they're not on Skype, they're not in the forums, they're just. But I mean, it's not like anyone was really being paid, so you can't blame them.
Yeah.
It was just a funny coincidence because it's like everyone disappeared at once.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Anyway, the bottom line was that I wrote a news post about a petition to make a Zelda Lego set, and it actually was. I guess Lego has a thing set up where people can petition sets to be made, and they'll look into it if there's enough votes. And I pushed pretty hard to make sure Zelda got enough votes, and it actually did. But Lego said no. Which usually I think means that they couldn't get the license
Yeah, probably.
or weren't willing to pursue it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it'd be different now. But it'd be sweet. Come on, let's make it. I want it to happen really bad.
yes.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome. Can you imagine getting like a Lego Skyloft?
Oh.
Have all of your Lego dudes riding your Skyloft?
I will
Riding my Skyloft. Hello, wait a minute.
wait.
Come on.
Everyone in
Come
the
on.
comments, if everyone in the comments watching this video, if you're in support of this, use #LegoZelda in the comments, and then we'll see how many people actually want it.
But when I used to like be really into Lego, there was this lineup. Like when I was like actively like buying it.
Yeah.
There was a lineup of sets that were like called Knight's Kingdom, and there was a castle there, and it had like it was like light gray with the blue spires and motif and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was a little kid, so I would just pretend that it was a castle because that's what it looked like. And so I'm just putting that out there.
Knight's Kingdom was cool though.
Oh, Knight's Kingdom was good. I have so many other sets, and then it's actually really funny timing that this came up because I pulled a whole bunch of it out of storage, selling it because I have a coworker. Really, he collects Lego the way I collect amiibos. So
Oh, wow.
it's yeah. So it's kind of funny timing. This is all on right now.
All right. Our next question comes from Patreon supporter Gus, who says, I think this is specifically for Daniel.
Wait. Okay, this is why I wanted to edit the thing, is because we answered this question last time I was on.
Oh.
We did.
We already answered this one,
The
and I
immediate-
didn't. Yes, we did.
Oh.
And then
You started. I said Sheik. I wanted to find Sheik.
Oh,
You
yeah.
started petitioning people on Twitter.
All right. Well, then I will go with. Illy Rose says, Game Over Jesse, King Bergerson, Jublima, favorite game story from a Legend of Zelda game or another game series, if you so wish. Smiley. Again, Ilya is one of the voiceover people, so a big thank you to her for her voiceover work.
Awesome.
So I think this question can be done in two parts: favorite story from Zelda, and then another game series as well.
Oh,
I don't know if that's for intentional. I think hers is one or the other, but why not? Why not both parts?
Let's just do both.
Skyward Sword for best Zelda story, and Final Fantasy X for another series.
Ooh. I'm gonna keep booing every time that you talk about how much you like Final Fantasy X.
I will just say that my favorite thing about Final Fantasy X is Lulu.
Okay.
I haven't
He
played
sinks
that game.
into his
so-
chair
I
and
was-
shakes.
But don't stop.
I would say Yuna, but
Here's the thing: I didn't know there was a secret like character relationship meter in that game. I accidentally got Lulu flirting with me for the entire finale. I didn't do that on purpose.
Awkward.
Sure.
I didn't know there was a
Yeah.
relationship in that game either.
Yeah, it controls who's riding with you, who you talk to when you're riding the motorbikes, and also some like other dialogue stuff. But like, I kid you not, Lulu was irreverently hitting on me during the final battle with Sin and stuff.
Maybe this isn't a real thing, and you were just having some sort of
Also-
really amazing dream.
Come on. and also,
Trust me, it's real.
everything. Like in the middle of a boss fight, like come on. Just
Well, no,
wait.
it's like during
Wait
in the
till
cut. It's in the cut. It's in the cut scenes when you're airship fighting Sin.
amazing and whiny.
No, she literally says like, "Let's just fight Sin together, just you and me," and then jumps off the airship. And Titus is like, terrible voice acting. Whoa!
Oh.
It does have some terrible voice acting.
Anyway, tangent.
All right. Yeah. What about you guys? Daniel.
Okay.
Favorite Zelda
favorite
story.
Zelda story. You know, this may just be my bias because I just finished playing through it recently. I really like the story of Wind Waker. Like, I think I was taking it for granted how good the story of that game is. Link is not a predestined hero. He's not, you know, like someone who is like the chosen one who has the Triforce to begin with, or is told you're the hero, go on an adventure by the talking tree or a goddess speaking to him through a spirit and a sword, light spirits, or anything like that. He's just a kid who's like thrust into these events by total coincidence, and he really grows, and then you have to actually freaking Triforce back together. And it's just, and the world building is really good in that game. And it's like, there are moments where I was looking at things where it's like, you get to Windfall Island and it's presented to you, and it's like, this feels like a really big, bustling place, even though there's actually really small and there's not there's like that many people there.
There's
But
like one street.
yeah, but like the world building is so good that you get there and you really think it is, and it's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
the supporting
especially,
cast
like-
is some of the best. Like there's Tetra, the King of Red Lions is, I think, a great companion character as well.
Oh yeah.
This going through the dungeons with this, like one of the sages with you, is like, I want more like in Zelda game, like companion characters that go through dungeons with you like that. Like
Yeah.
I love that stuff. And the ending, actually, I would play through it because I just finished the game recently. It gives me chills, man. Like like Ganondorf is the most compelling villain in that game, like of any iteration of Ganondorf. He's just such a well fleshed out villain in the game.
No.
It's good. That's my Zelda pick.
It's good stuff.
It's
Your
so
own
good.
Zelda game.
as far as story goes. There's other elements from other games that I like better. As far as non-Zelda goes, this may be a cop-out. Jesse's gonna roll his eyes. I really like Metroid too, but what I like about Metroid, unlike other Zelda, or not Zelda, oh my goodness, other like franchises of Nintendo's, where it's like, who cares about story? That's Mario. This is just another Mario game. Who cares about how they all fit? And Zelda, where it's just like, oh, this is like retread with a different character, but it's this again. And then Star Fox, it's like it's another reboot. And Metroid is like all one cohesive story. All the games fit into one overarching story, and it's very good because there's growth for Samus in it, excluding Other M, where it's like a very good feeling where like Zero Mission and Metroid 2 or Samus Returns, whichever you like, she just feels very like overconfident, cocky, killing machine. And then Super Metroid happens, and she begins that way, but it's almost a bit humbling at the end. Like there's a moment where baby saves her, spoilers, and then the game came out in 93 though, so you can't blame me for spoiling it. So and then we're not going to count Other M, but there's Metroid Fusion, and she kind of betrays her like allegiances, and it's just like there's a lot of character growth if you actually put them all together in one story. So it's also very good. No, I'm done gushing. So that's my pick for non-Zelda.
All right, and what about you, Axel?
Zelda is going to, for I think a while, probably, I don't know. It's gonna be Majora's Mask. I love the themes and the. He's rolling his eyes. He's just like, yeah.
No, I should have said Majora's Mask.
I know. I saw that look on your face. You're like, oh, Majora's Mask. Dang it.
Majora's Mask has one of the bearer plots in the Zelda series.
Majora's
Mask.
You said Majora's.
No, I didn't. Daniel, shut up. Majora's Mask.
That's exactly how you said it.
Majora's Mask.
But go on. It's a really good game. Go on.
It has one of the bearer like plots of as far as Zelda games go, but it's extremely well themed. It ties really well into like the spooky themes of the game, the scary stuff with Majora's Mask, its origins, the demonic vibe it has. But also like the whole game is fundamentally about friendship, about helping people, and that all ties in too. It's the best theming, I think, of any Zelda game, and that's a huge part of storytelling in general, especially in video games where you have to weave spare bits of dialogue and cutscenes in with gameplay. When the theme of the gameplay and the story itself match up, that's some really strong storytelling in video games, I feel. When your actions in the game actually line up in some way with the story. But Majora's Mask is also a masterclass at establishing subtle details about so many characters. There's like almost none of the characters in the game don't have a story, and some of them are surprisingly deep and interconnected. Like Romani Ranch is having trouble with bandits stealing their milk shipments, and then you go to the milk bar where their shipments are supposed to go, and Gorman is this like angry drunk, basically. That's what he is. But then you play a song from him and it moves him so much, and he gives you this mask, and then you go talk to his brothers who are the ones raiding the shipments to the milk bar, and his mask makes them cry. And it doesn't even like make sense per se, but it just feels emotionally related. Such a great interconnected thing, and that's, I think, something Majora's Mask is fantastic at. And
it's also extra impressive because this is a game where most of the characters in it don't have
asset flips.
Yeah, they're not only that, they're also like they're technically limited to the point where they have like maybe 2 facial expressions.
Right. Yeah.
It's like for the good ones have more than 1 facial expression.
Yeah.
And most of them are static throughout, and it's all just through nuance and dialogue. And
yeah. For non-Zelda, I want to say Metroid Prime, but I think that's just because I think that's the best, or one of the best video game stories I've ever played. It's basically Breath of the Wild, where it's all already happened and you're just reading about it, but it's so detailed it's ridiculous. There's just so much lore there. But I think if I had to pick a favorite, it's actually the Mega Man Zero sub-series, which is basically where Zero, who's Mega Man's friend and kind of rival, but then friend, and then just they're just allies, is awoken by a scientist in the far future. Mega Man is either dead or has been replicated as an evil clone. He's the bad guy. And there's just I can't get into it without spoiling the story that much, but it's just such a it's not very well told, I'll be honest about that. It's pretty bare bones. And not in the Majora's Mask way. But it's just a very cool emotional cap-off to Zero's character, to a lot of the Final Fantasy series. The whole idea of villains who have made these robots that are persisting throughout time and outliving them is explored in some cool ways, especially with the main villain of the Zero franchise. And it has a very cool emotional climax for a lot of the characters. It actually is the ending of 04 made me cry. So,
Oh.
All right, and Kayla, I think
So
you were the last
heartfelt.
left.
My favorite Zelda storyline would probably be Twilight Princess. I was just a really big fan of kind of like the tone of the game and how it really kind of sets you up for giving you this feeling that it's like Link actually needs to be a hero in this game because the world is basically just coming to an end.
It's gonna just go down the toilet.
And Zant making everything a Shadow Realm. I loved Twilight Princess. I thought it was great. It's definitely my
Speaking of good companion characters, right?
Speaking of
Kayla
booty,
agrees with you.
Yeah, Ilya. And then for like a non-Nintendo game, it's really hard. I was thinking maybe BioShock because I do really enjoy BioShock, and then I thought about it and I was like, or Borderlands, but I realized that like, the main thing that happens in these two games storyline-wise is like ultimately the people at the bottom are being screwed over by the people at the top. So I guess that's just the kind of game I like.
It's just
Because like real life.
Yeah.
All right. Axel, your turn to pick a question.
can I pick a fun one?
Sure.
Yeah,
Everybody
pick a
who's
boring
watching
one.
in the chat, put your questions there as well, but tag us or go to the Discord. And it works better if you go to the Discord. The link is in the description, and tag us because it won't get lost in the chat here. So do that if you want your question answered, and it has to be a good question.
No bad questions are allowed. So, Fierce Deity Mahesh asks, if you were to be either the Fierce Deity or the Hero's Shade, who would you be and why?
in what context? Like, am I just going about my day? Do I get out?
Hey, it's just for a day you get to be that thing.
I go to work. I'm like, hey man, let's open you up a savings account.
You can pick what day, Daniel.
Go to Pita Pit for lunch.
It can be your vacation.
Okay.
All right.
Daniel has to go first now. He started this.
Okay. Well, the Hero's Shade is dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So I gotta go with Fierce Deity Link. Because he's probably not dead.
And you could give the generic teenage boy response like, I want to be a ghost so I can spawn the girl. And he's just like, grow up.
Wrong answer, guys. I would want to be Hero's Shade for a day because then when I eat and consume stuff, I would freak people right out because I don't have a digestive tract.
Wait, be the Hero's Shade so you can be a dog.
Right.
Doggo days.
Dog.
Wow. Or
dog for a day.
And then you can just go up to people and just like howl songs at them until they repeat it back at you.
You can howl them very badly. Yep.
Who would I pick?
Who's it gonna be, Jessup?
But see, like Fierce Deity, he's sealed. Like his power is sealed in the mask. So like Majora, Skull Kid puts on Majora's mask, and Majora's able to take control of the Skull Kid. But when Link puts on the Fierce Deity mask, he just uses the power in the mask. The mask doesn't necessarily possess him. So I feel like Fierce Deity, you would still be sealed in the mask. So like you would spend your whole day just as like a plastic wooden mask, whatever it's made out of.
I feel like you're thinking about this too much.
Well, it's like, do I want to be a dead guy or a dead skeleton that can turn into a wolf that can only talk to his great something grandson, or do I want to be a mask?
Who says that's the only person he can talk to? That's just the only person he wanted to talk to.
Okay. Everybody else would be so scared.
Well, no one else
run
would
away.
get him. Yeah. No one else understands him.
Would I want to be
Anyway,
an
we've got a
angry
connection.
god?
We're both turned into wolves.
I would choose the hero shade because I don't know much about Fierce Deity's past life.
Don't you know Fierce Deity is the combination of the what is it? The happiness of all the people of Termina.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's like confirmed. Well,
No.
kind of confirmed.
No, I know that's what the interview suggested, but there's so many interviews from Nintendo that all like completely negate. Like Miyamoto says something that goes against what Aonuma says, and then Aonuma says
Yeah, but that's because Miyamoto just makes stuff up. Everyone else is fireball.
This is the guy that said he is Bowser Jr.'s mother.
Oh yeah.
So
Canonically. He's
take,
Bowser.
take that with a grain of salt.
Alright, Daniel,
I feel like
No, wait, you have to answer, Axel. You did
Yeah.
answer.
I feel like I would only want to be one of these because we can pick the day, so it'd be like I would only want to be. Really had to mess some people up. Like the only context where I want to be like, okay, do I want to be like gigantic and like super strong and shoot laser sword, I guess, or do I want to have like be a ghost with sword skills?
And you can turn into a dog.
And I can turn into a dog. It just depends. Am I hunting down some kind of like serial killer in the woods to save a little boy that's been kidnapped? Probably be the hero shade. If I want to like stop a mall shooting, I'd probably want to be Fierce Deity Link.
Why are you having to stop a mall shooting?
I don't know. What context would I want to be a giant god that can destroy anything?
Just imagine your average day. Just
My average day.
Axel's telling us he wants to be a superhero.
What, Kayla? Why do you think I'm not already a superhero?
Yeah, no,
True.
because you
The
fully
pumpkin in
said
the
that-
background says a lot about you.
don't judge.
The pumpkin in the background with the Bigfoot cap on his head.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
While we're at it, the Earth is flat.
I don't know. Hero's shade, whatever. Spooky ghost, swordsmanship. I don't care.
There was
Spooky ghost.
There was a troll debate earlier this morning about Hyrule being a flat.
I saw
Oh.
that.
Yeah.
That got pretty funny.
It's like,
I'm not gonna lie.
Some random fan, Mr. Gihab, who has his own YouTube channel, and then like me and Daniel, and we were all talking about Hyrule being like a flat Earth thing. So,
That's low rule. Get it right.
low rules, flat Earth. Alright, Daniel, you got to pick a question.
Okay, I thought I had one and I scrolled somewhere.
Good.
How dare you scroll?
Daniel.
No, it's gone. Oh,
Here, your
no.
motivation is to look at this bag of cookies.
Hey, you
I
can't
want
get those out of the camera.
I
You
want-
can't do that to us.
No. Okay, yeah, here it is. So, CNRPG. Is RPG in the chat right now? I think this is the first time I haven't seen the chat.
I thought I saw him in the chat. Oh no, you're right.
Well, anyways, he asks, underwhelming, annoying / boring / dumb boss fights in Zelda or just in general. We're gonna go with in Zelda to just kind of narrow it down. Because why not? I've got my answer.
Underwhelming boss fights. I'm trying to remember what it's called. I think it's like Tentalis or something.
Tantalus from Skyward Sword.
Yep. great start to the this Tantalus. Great start to the boss fight, where you get to like to the end of the dungeon, and then tentacles start freaking ripping the place apart. Like the whole dungeon is being torn to pieces, and the tentacles coming, and you got to cut through them and escape.
Yeah.
And when that was happening, I was so psyched. I was like, "Holy crap! This is gonna be the greatest boss!"
In that voice.
Yeah, no, pretty much. And I'm just you're running through there trying to escape, and then you get out, and it's that character from Monsters Inc. pops out of the water. Like, what?
You're right. You know what?
Wow.
That was a really bad boss. I totally agree.
And it's the way you kill him too is the most uncreative Zelda boss fight. Shoot him in the eye with an arrow, and then he falls, and then the old 1-2 sword.
Yeah, but how many creative bosses are they going to come up with surrounding a bow in the future?
I mean, well, did they just need to? Did they come some? No, you know what? The one in Spirit Tracks is way more creative, and the one where you get the bow, because
yeah, but you still shoot it in the eye.
Okay, true, but at least there you have to like go through like a mine, and that's kind of more creative.
You mean as opposed to escaping from thinking back by
that part was cool, but when you get to the boss fight,
no, you don't get it. It's part of it.
Fight.
Anyway.
I like this boss fight.
When you replay the boss fights, do you do that part?
No.
Do the lightning round?
Shut up, Daniel.
Mm.
Do you refight it in Sky? Don't answer that.
Anyways, no, I just found that was really underwhelming. Just
Face
like you
is
get
underwhelming.
It builds it up so well, and you get so hyped for it, and then it's just kind of a letdown for the actual part where you fight him. And also just because it looks ridiculous. That's probably half of it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you actually like that one, Axel?
Yes!
Actually?
Oh.
I actually liked it.
Well, but then it makes no sense, because then after you also fight him, here's another part that makes no sense. It's basically like a fade to black, and then suddenly they rebuilt the boat.
Yeah, time lapse.
Nice.
Get over it.
Time lapse. It felt like a cop out.
Your face is a cop. I know. I actually agree with that. I actually think Tantalus. I think Skirvo, in the past when he's not run down, should have been the boss of the Sandshet. Tantalus should have been an overworld boss while you're sailing to the gorge area where you meet the Thunder Dragon. As is, no change, but that's what I think they should have done.
Yes. That would work way better. And maybe you could use the cannon in the skipper's boat.
I said no change!
Okay, sorry. you said no change. No change. I'm not good at this.
Okay.
No.
You told us to fight, we're fighting! Stay out of it!
I enjoy it.
Oh no.
One cookie to the winner.
Wait, really?
Ooh.
Yeah, come
So
to me.
anyway. Oh,
Nail it.
okay, so you actually liked that fight. What's your underwhelming one then?
God, I had it. Where did it go? Someone else go while I remember. I'll write it down this time.
Mine
Oh, yeah.
is the imprisoned
Which one?
Skyward Sword.
Wayne!
All of them.
Oh, I actually didn't mind the imprisoned.
It was like
because
it was
they build off
fine.
it.
They change it up every now and then, but it's just.
Oh.
Man, we're just ruining Axel's day.
There are,
All this-
Axel, if it makes you feel better, Skyward Sword probably has the best boss fight in the whole series with Koloktos.
Yeah.
It's actually like the great...
Koloktos is the only boss in the game I didn't like that much!
Next time, an unpopular opinion.
It's so good! You tear his arms off and then you beat him to death with his own...
Yeah, but it's not mechanically interesting.
But it's fun.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It's
I mean,
not
it
bad.
looks cool, unlike
It's not.
Dallas.
It's just not my favorite. It's all. It's actually good.
But actually, it is not mechanically interesting. It's just pure unadulterated fun. But
It's just hilarious.
It's-
I love
it is
killing
hilarious.
people with their own limbs. It's great.
That's like
when you get a bokoblin arm in Breath of the Wild, and then you just start beating
Yeah.
bokoblins.
You mean a Stalkoblin? Stalkoblin?
I guess so. But when you pick it up, the item description is bokoblin arm.
Well,
Even though it is like a stealth.
go away.
I once saw a Twitter post that said, this is why when Breath of the Wild came out, and the Twitter post said, in the new Zelda game, you can you can kill an enemy, tear its arm off, and beat another enemy to death with it. Someone retweeted and said, you can do that in real life too if you aren't a pussy.
Oh, we're gonna get demonetized.
Now we're gonna just thought I'd put that out there.
Actually, technically, pussy doesn't come from what you think it comes from. So if Nintendo gets their facts right, it should be okay.
But colloquially speaking, I'm just gonna
Shut up,
ruin
Daniel.
everything.
You're making it
Everything
worse.
What's your least favorite boss?
He's regretting this. He's like, next podcast, Daniel's not coming back.
Next podcast is gonna be the Kayla show. My bowl that I use to hold up my laptop, and this bag of cookies.
Oh, I want cookies.
Very kosher.
So, Jesse, we haven't heard from you yet. Can we argue with what you have to say?
And it better not be from Skyward Sword!
Okay, I have two. One 3D, one 2D. Armagoma from Twilight Princess.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I agree with that.
Yep.
And I forgot the names, but like the statues. There's like 10 of the statues that go around in
Ooh,
a circle. And
like-
Oh, the Armos Knights from A Link to the Past.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the first boss.
Yeah.
The other kind of boring.
I thought it was funny, but yeah, that's a fair pick.
Yeah. But, okay, Armagoma is really lame because pretty much you knock him on his back and then it's just like giant statue.
No. The thing is, like, if you look at the Zelda Wii U tech demo, where they like recreated what Twilight Princess would have looked like.
Oh, they
on
make
the
it
Wii
look
U,
cool.
They make it look amazing.
Yeah.
And then, like, you play the actual boss. Like, it's the way that I chose this is if you go back to play any of the bosses or fight any of the bosses, which would you be the least interested in? And for me, it would be like the Armo statue knight thing or Armagoma.
Yeah.
Whatever. So, there.
All right.
Was that everybody?
No, I didn't. I remembered mine.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm ready.
Every boss in the Wind Waker except for Mulgara.
Whoa!
You know what? Cal Demos is really lame.
Calidemos is actually okay. Yeah, he's fine.
Calidemos is just what's it called? The Amoeba boss from Ocarina of Time, but not as good.
So here's the thing.
So without the electric jellyfish.
Most of the bosses in the game don't have many mechanics to them. Here's the thing, and I talked about this on a mailbag fairly recently, I think. I used to work for, before Zelda Dungeon, actually, I used to work for a different Zelda website where, for whatever reason, I did guide work for the Wind Waker, even though it was my least favorite Zelda game. I don't know how that happened. Or one of my least favorites, anyway. And I did boss guides for the Wind Waker, and it absolutely destroyed my impression of the bosses in that game, because they are all so easy, and trying to come up with ways to beat them even easier... Jawhala can't hit you. You
Also,
can stand
if you do
completely still. You cannot move at all, and he can't damage you. You can. There's one counter to all of his attacks, and it's, and he can't do anything. He shakes his fire, and it falls around you.
Also, if you do the hurricane spin, you could, like, when he breaks apart.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You can like get so many of them so fast.
Yeah. So.
Like,
But Calidemos is okay, and Mulgara was a cool fight.
The Helmurat King is really fun to fight.
Okay, yeah, it's
That's
cool.
fun.
but it's not. You don't do anything. He'll fly back, and he's like gonna do this big swoop. It's like, oh yeah, let's fight this bird, and he just goes past you. He doesn't even aim for you. I can barely dodge at all. Like, I move a little bit to the side, and he's like way away the other direction when he comes by. It's not a fight.
I will give you this. It
is cool. The presentation,
game, but
the presentation of the game is through the roof, no doubt. But anyway.
Wow. Just ripped that boss a new one. Good one.
Wind Waker's a good game, but health bosses. Redo all of them.
Okay. Everybody's asked a question, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
yes, sir.
We can go through each person one more question. But we'll try to get through these a little bit faster than the last.
Yeah,
ones. So
quick ones.
More of an answer instead of a discussion for each.
Yeah.
So, everyone in the chat, you can have your questions. I can't see if there's any more questions posted on Discord, but if there was, let us know, Daniel. But my... no, wait.
You
It
can
goes
pick
back
one
to-
first if you want.
What?
Daniel. No,
What?
Axel. You picked
It
the
goes
question.
back to me.
Axel picked the question this time. First,
Oh.
since he's the guest.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I don't know. Let me look. You put me on the spot.
You were always on the spot.
Your face is on the spot.
Oh my.
Wow, it feels like we got most of them. Oh, this one's cool. Optimus Kind asks, do y'all think it would be cool to see the Triforce pieces being wielded by different hosts? Like Link gets the power of the Power Triforce or Wisdom, or is that kind of defeating the overall theme of the series?
Wait, have we answered this one?
I
Or
wasn't
have we just
there
had
for
it sitting in the queue for a while and I've already
It's been
read it?
sitting
That
there
might
for
be
a long time.
that might be what it is. Never mind. Whoopsie daisy.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. Like, I think they may never do that because they're very, very in love with the dynamic they have going on with a lot of the characters, and the cycle repeating throughout all time, the legends of Hyrule, whatnot. But I think it's a cool idea, just in the sense of telling different kinds of stories in different Zelda games. Like, my fan game idea is Link was a gravekeeper in one game, so it's just like, I think playing around with that kind of thing could create a lot of different settings and stories. So I'm not opposed to it. I just don't think Nintendo would ever do it. Not what I think about that.
Yeah, I don't think Nintendo would do it.
No,
either.
I don't think so.
But it would be interesting to see like Zelda with the Triforce of Power, or Ganondorf with the Triforce of Courage.
What if it was like a game where Ganon was like a mad genius and he had the Triforce of Wisdom and he was like masterminding the whole game politically?
Ooh.
Yeah, I think that would fit him the best because I feel he already has courage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if you think he's a good guy, like throughout the game too. It's not the Twilight Princess route where they kind of introduce him halfway through and then you don't see him till the very end. But like you know him through the whole game and you think he's a good guy, and then it's just kind of like you kind of start suspecting, or there's some red flags going up. That would be cool. I don't know. Just a thinking.
You're a red flag.
I'm just like I'm waiting for like,
your face is a red flag.
There it is. I was gonna say I'm just waiting for. I'm just waiting for it.
Anyway.
But yes, no, same. I don't think they'll actually end up doing it because you've got the power of courage.
Yeah.
The power of courage.
I feel if Link had the Triforce of Power, it would be too dominant. It would be like him with the Fierce Deity mask 24/7.
Yeah.
What if that was their excuse to do the magic system again?
So, like, if Zelda had the Triforce of Power, would she basically just be Sheik 24/7?
Oh, what would be cool is if she did get the Triforce of Power, and she became evil with power.
Oh.
So then Zelda's the
But
bad guy.
Wisdom Ganondorf, who you think is the good guy, set her up.
Yeah.
That's like a path.
Yeah.
But then Link has courage as always.
Yeah, so he's
Well,
the same.
that's
So really
fine.
just those two. That's fine. Or my thought is
The perfect way to do this. So Ganondorf always tries to kidnap Zelda to get the Triforce from her. So what if he does manage to get the Triforce from her, but something happens and it causes them to swap?
Yeah.
so he tries to take it from her, but it ends up just swapping them.
Trading.
Yeah.
Freaky
Like-
Friday.
like-
They
He's walking away. He's like, "Yes, I did it."
Ganondorf's
Wait,
just
where's the
like,
other one?
What are these?
This isn't what I wanted, but I accept it.
With dignity.
Oh. Here's a cool idea: is if you have a game where it's in Hyrule, no Link, no Zelda, no Ganondorf. You've got 3 new characters who hold the Triforce.
Kayla's blue.
And- Yes. Blue Kayla.
Oh yeah,
Blula.
sorry, I couldn't do the Microsoft thing.
And you have like a game where you've got a 3-character party who each has like one of those traits basically.
No.
And that's a very basic idea. That's all I have. that is 100% it.
Not bad.
But it's a good. Okay, let's
it's
just
good.
move in. Everybody's quiet. Like, okay, we shut up, Daniel.
Yeah, it's fine. It's cool.
Daniel,
Daniel,
stop.
pick your question, Daniel.
Croissant.
Question.
Okay. Tevy Bear asks, is there an area from a Zelda game you would like to see return in a future game? So I'm thinking the Colosseum
Zelda's
in
butt.
Breath of the Wild. Zelda, did you say Zelda's butt?
Yeah.
It is an
After
area.
that in Breath of the Wild, I want more. Sorry.
But
I want.
we see the Colosseum in Breath of the Wild in ruin, and there's a lot of like implication of what it was for. But I'd love to see in a Zelda game in the future where that's still before it was ruined.
For gladiatoring?
Yes, you get thrown in there and you have to fight your way out. That's all. Like the whole scenario, you get thrown in, you got to fight your way out. I just think that'd be fun. So why not?
I want to
Face would be
see
fun.
like Clocktown return, which I think would mean Termina has to return. But if we're just strictly Hyrule,
What if we had a Hyrule version of Clocktown?
that would work. If it because Hyrule Castle is like a monarchy, but Termina, like, there's the mayor and like all of
It's a
that.
democracy.
I want to see for Hyrule. I want to see what was it? Kakiri Forest. So not Korok Forest, but I want to see the Kakiri actually return.
I agree with Jesse, actually. That's what I
That's
was
good.
gonna
That's a
pick.
good pick.
Yep. Axel,
Oh,
did you choose anything?
I would love to see either Icona from Majora's Mask in any context, or just an area very like I'm fine. I'll take a spiritual successor. I don't care. But an area like that, or the Dark World, but I don't think it has to be a link to the. You know what? No, what am I talking about? I wrote an article about this. What the hell am I talking about? New Hyrule from Spirit Tracks.
Oh yeah.
Before Breath of the Wild even came out, I was like, Zelda Wii U should be set in New Hyrule. We can have underwater, dark realms, snow area. We need that.
Yeah.
Like, just underwater world.
Yes.
No.
Under the sea.
Anything you have to do underwater sucks. 100%.
Only in Mario. not in
Get out!
Zelda.
All right.
Except in Odyssey, where you can just become the fish, and then it's actually not terrible.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't know. I don't hate water levels in Zelda. I really don't.
Well, the whole point of the underwater area in Spirit Tracks is that it's actually, you're like just doing normal things underwater. They could create an underwater world where you're not swimming, per se. But maybe you've got like, maybe it's like One Piece rules where you have like bubbles and stuff.
Hmm.
Okay, here's a thought. The Wind Ruins from Minish Cap. Again,
Yeah.
they're all ruins and all that stuff, but like there was like probably a whole civilization there that's died out. I'd love to just delve into that a little bit more.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. See, a lot of my ideas are like, this is something that was destroyed. I want to see what it was like before it was destroyed. That's like all my.
What if we just reverse that and destroy some more areas in the Zelda destroyed yet?
Can we go back in time
Breath
and
of
then
the Wild is
get
all
destroyed?
just like all this stuff is just it's broken. It's all broken. You want a building? It's broken. So
Confirm Daniel's favorite part of Breath of the Wild is the Lome.
actually, I really do. I really do like that. I really do.
Nailed it.
Maybe not my favorite part, but I love that stuff. Jesse
You know,
has a really
this-
good video on it. I'm not plugging anything, I swear. But he does have a really good video on it.
On what?
On the Lomai ruins and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I have a really good joke in an upcoming video that hopefully will come out this week about Breath of the Wild about the Lome. It's not a video about the Lome, but it's a good joke, so...
What's
good
the
joke.
joke? What's the joke?
I'm not going to tell you. You have to watch the video.
I'm not gonna watch it.
then you suck.
just message me.
No, then you double suck because you also don't like Skyward Sword. That's why you suck.
I do like Skyward Sword.
No, you don't like my favorite boss. You suck.
I just don't like that boss.
Actually, it's not my favorite. Whatever.
So has everybody answered the question?
Did Kayla, you pick one, or did you just agree
Yeah.
with Jesse?
No, I just agreed with Jesse. That was like
Does
spot
that count?
on. Yeah, that counts.
Okay, I did like 3, so we're good.
I think I picked 3 too.
So, what's our next question? Whoever's picking the next question.
Kayla.
Me?
I think Jesse's gonna fall asleep on this podcast.
You should have been picking. You're just laughing to cover up while you're trying to find the question.
That's how you do it.
Okay.
That's a better approach than me going,
You should just be like, do, 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 do.
This one, it's not actually in our document that we have. I was looking at Discord and looking at the questions. Ash
moved them.
North asked, if you had to get a decent-sized Zelda tattoo, what would it be and where would you put it? And I picked this one because I do have a bit of a Zelda tattoo planned out, and I know it seems a little bit lame, and you guys don't look like tattoo folk, but I have 2 tattoos. I want to get like 3 pixel hearts.
2 tattoos 4 times fast.
3 tattoos, 3 tattoos, 3 tattoos.
Anyways, I
2
want to get
tattoos. I said 2 tattoos.
Oh, 2 tattoos, 2 tattoos.
tattoos.
2 tattoos, 2 tattoos, 2 tattoos.
2 tattoos tattooed on Tatooine.
That was impressive in its own right.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, 3 pixel hearts from Zelda because I do 3 heart Zelda runs and I hate my life, but
Those are fun,
that's
though.
why. Yeah, they're fun, but they're terrible.
Who's next? Jessup. What's their tattoo?
I'm going
Your 2
to
tattoos.
be generic and say Triforce.
Are you gonna get it on?
Sell out!
Jesse's hashtag basic.
I couldn't really think of anything.
You should get the Triforce
Okay.
tattooed on your forehead then.
Yeah.
Or on your butt cheek.
So, to be contrary to Kayla's judgmental attitude, I actually have been planning to get a tattoo for a long time. I just never sprang for it. It's not Zelda related, though. I won't get into that. If I was going to get a Zelda one... Huh?
It's just a tattoo of a butt, isn't it?
No. It was actually going to be an Ouroboros on the back of my right hand. Serpent
That would
eating
be
its own
cool.
tail.
Oh, okay.
I like
So
that.
it's like kind of eating its own butt.
Shut up, Daniel.
Okay, sorry, go on.
I don't think I would ever do a Zelda one per se, but if I was gonna pick one, if someone's like, get a Zelda tattoo, I'm like,
It's like cocks a gun.
Gun to your head.
Get it out.
What Zelda tattoo would you get?
I would get. You remember the intro of Skyward Sword? How it had that like stylized art done, like rendition of like the history of Demise and Hylian and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'd want Demise's spooky dome head, huge on my back.
Nice.
It almost,
That would be
I
what
have
I'd
one head when you can
That's a
have
good-
one on the back of your back,
it
staring
almost
at
looks like
people.
the Oogie Boogie from.
Yeah, I would just that spooky Demise face on my back.
That's a good one. There is a very specific piece of artwork from the. It's basically from the manual past.
You
And
wanna
it's of
get
sort of.
Triforce Heroes Link and the Zelda dress tattooed on your neck.
On, just like right down there.
Right on your face.
Just right there. Just right, yeah. No,
Or
there's
just
very-
get Zelda's butt tattooed right on your face.
just right here. And it's like her bending over across my.
Unbelievable.
No.
Oh. Well, I'll see if I can find this artwork though.
Oh, or Majora's Mask, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, I feel like that one would be a really cool one.
Okay, here it is. I found it on the Google. So there's this piece of artwork from basically the manuals of the.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's hella cool. And every time, if anyone's asked me, like, would you ever get a tattoo? Well, I don't know why. The first thing that always comes to my head is this piece of art. Probably
Aw.
something dumb like on the back of my shoulder or something. But yeah, Kayla called it. I'm probably too squeamish to get a tattoo if for any reason. My brother has like a million of them. They go up like full sleeve up each arm, across his chest and his back, and down the other arm. But he's also like a kind of a broader guy with like a beard and covered in tattoos, and then I'm
Fitting in with stereotypes.
No, what I'm just
Why
saying
didn't you tell
is
me you had such a cool brother?
we stand next to each other, and you wouldn't think that he's my older brother. He's also like a third my height, but I'm
Yeah,
exaggerating.
but people don't think that we look like brothers either, but you know.
That's true. People don't think that we look like brothers. We aren't, but people still
No,
think
Daniel,
we look like brother.
don't you remember what this means?
If you want the money to keep coming, you won't tell us.
Your favorite Zelda game is Skyward Sword. You're not my brother.
You're killing me.
Your face is killing me.
I can see the regret in Jesse's face. The regret. What have I done? I'm so sorry. Please don't stop being my friend. Oh dear. Anyways, that's a good piece of artwork. I would get that.
Your face is a good piece of artwork.
Someone just get my face. My face. Axel's gonna
You can get your face tattooed on your face.
I feel like your wife would be really weirded out by that.
I'm gonna get my face tattooed. I'm gonna shave my face tattooed on the back of my head.
Okay, Voldemort, calm down.
But it'll still be my face.
You should get your face tattooed on the back of your head, the top of your head, your back.
What did you guys eat before you came on the podcast?
I think they got into your cookies. They got into
Did
your
we
special
miss
cookies,
something?
Kayla.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
Oh no.
It's like when you go out drinking with your friends, but you're the sober one. That's Jesse and I right now. We're like,
I'm sorry.
People used to think I was high in my videos. That's just how I am all the time.
In the chat, Metro Android says, "Looks like everyone's loopy. I joined at a good time." Hell yeah, you did.
Oh, hey, Metro.
Hey, buddy. Oh no. Jesse's gone. He's already. Oh, there. He's back. Ooh.
I'm broken. I've got
Your turn
nothing.
to pick a question.
Whose turn?
Did everybody answer the question?
I think.
All right. So I have one, but I don't know if there is.
Jesse.
All right. So
Tell us.
CNRPG says, do you guys think they should add the Metroid Prime trilogy and Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD to Switch soon? I'm sure they will add other ports too, but I really want them to add these 3. 5 if you count the individual Metroid Primes. Game over, Jesse. King Bergerson. So I think it is just a matter of time before we see both of those. Or technically all 3.
Or all 3.
The Prime trilogy, the Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. And but I like this question because I want to use it as what Wii U game that has not been ported to the Switch would you guys like to see? Because I think
Pikmin.
Smash Brothers.
but that's
We're getting
Axel,
Smash
they're
5.
doing Smash.
I want to play Smash 4. What are you talking about, Kelly?
We're getting Smash 5, but Axel. Smash 4.
alright, Smash 5.
Didn't the original Splatoon not get ported over yet?
Not
I
yet.
remember.
We got Splatoon
But they should
2.
do. They should do a Splatoon 1 and 2.
Isn't
Yeah.
Splatoon 2 very similar to Splatoon 1 though?
Yeah.
It's
Shut up,
very,
Kayla.
Very similar. It's pretty much a remake with
It's the
extra.
same game. It's basically the same game with new levels and a different story mode. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yes.
they've brought over some of the levels from the first one. Almost all of the items carried over. So it's essentially Splatoon 1.5, but I think they just called it Splatoon 2. So
So technically we should be getting a new Splatoon game.
yeah.
Splatoon. Never mind.
I'm just really disappointed that they didn't put the 2 in the middle. Have it Splat 2.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on.
I know, Nintendo misses out on so many good
Splatoon.
puns.
Come on.
Are you
Fun
kidding?
game.
So we have
I mean, they're good with it in game dialogue.
what
Oh, yeah.
game- guys, Kayla, what was your game? Wii U game needs to be on the Switch.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Switch.
Sweet splish.
Bleach.
I'm going to tell you really honestly that I didn't play a lot of Wii U games.
Splish. That's the point. What did you want to play?
What do you want, though? We've already got your
But-
Danky Kangs and your.
Yeah, I've already been suffering through that game. Thank you very much.
I love Donkey Kong Country. Okay.
I guess Hyrule Warriors. Like we don't have that yet.
We're getting it.
We're getting that
Definitive
though.
Are
edition.
we?
Yes.
I don't know. I just
You work for Nintendo.
the Wii U was such a bad console. I can't think of any games I actually enjoyed on it.
Wow. I'm pretty sure every Wii U game I got, I really enjoyed, like a lot, except for maybe Star. Right, but I'm hurt.
Maybe like a Super Mario 3D World. I love playing like multiplayer Mario games.
Mm-hmm.
I would love this. I would love to see 3D World come over. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I never got to play that either. It looked fun to me.
Yeah, that's the only one that I could think of as a lot of fun because that game is great when you have 4 people playing. It is
With
such
online
a
multiplayer.
gong show.
Yes, add online, or if you do local, like not just Joy-Con local, you have 2 switches that can
Yeah.
connect to people. Sure, just Joy-Con, like pass a Joy-Con local multiplayer is good too. There's so many options you could do. Make it happen, Nintendo.
Yeah. Bring us another 3D World.
Yes. We'll call it 4D World HD. New Super Mario 3D World HD XL. I choose Pikmin. So that is my game. Oh, actually, no, I don't know. Pikmin or Super Mario Maker?
Super Mario Maker would be pretty cool too, actually.
They'd both be really good.
They should just port the entire Wii U library.
Pikmin is really good on the Wii U. They should just port the entire Wii U library. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Pikmin on the Wii U is really good because the item in Pikmin 3 that the character has called the Cop Pad, and it's the best. It's one of the best uses of the Wii U gamepad in a game.
Yeah.
Because well, first of all, basically the character has a gamepad. Like that's pretty much exactly.
So what is this, Breath of the Wild?
Kind of, but they did it first, I guess. But also, like, there's like
it's like pretty much his tablet in the game, and he has apps on it to check
Right.
the Pikmin and the map and stuff. And you can actually, because it's like micromanaging your groups, you can use the app to like tell this group to go here while you're going and doing this thing. And it's all in real time, and it's like really good use of the gamepad. So I'm not sure how that would work on the Switch without having to pause like frequently to do it. But it would still, I just really love that game to death. And the other Pikmin games didn't have dual screen anyway, and they work just fine. So
True.
Nintendo Land.
yes.
Yeah, actually.
I really like.
Which would be weird, but
I really like Nintendo Land, but I would rather have like a Nintendo Land 2 that had online multiplayer.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, no, they should do a Nintendo Land 2 that keeps the games that were Nintendo Land, at least the good ones.
Well,
But,
like they're
put
talking
in
about
new
making
ones,
us
too.
pay for internet, like using internet on the Nintendo Switch coming up. So like, I really hope they're planning on doing some really awesome online capabilities with that. Because if it's just like Mario Kart and Splatoon, like,
Then everyone will still
Let's face it, everyone will still pay for that, but
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Land Smash Brothers, to be fair.
That's true.
Yeah, that would be good for Smash. So Axel, was your answer seriously Smash 4?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I just wanted to
I'm a
make sure.
huge Smash. Usually, I'm with you, and they're like, it's the latest one. It just has all the stuff from the last one. But I'm a huge Smash fan, and I miss
You're right,
Smash.
though. Smash 4 was really good, especially.
And
It was really good.
And it had Mega Man in it. He's like one of my favorite.
He loves Mega Man. This guy does
Damn
Mega
right.
Man.
Mega
speeches, I can
Man.
see it.
Every time we say it, we gotta say it like the Smash announcer.
I don't know how he says it. I haven't played the game, Daniel.
Have you actually not played it?
No.
You actually didn't? Oh, Axel.
Yeah, I know.
I'm hurt for you. I'm like, I want to like mail it to you, but then
I would take that, honestly.
I
Go
want to
for
get
it.
rid of mine though. So,
Aw.
Jesse, are you okay? You look tired.
Jesse, are
No, I'm good.
taking up your time? It's probably what? It's like
12:30 for you.
At one point, he was like completely still, like a half hour ago, and I typed
know.
in
He was just like,
I was typed in the chat, Jesse, did you die?
No, I'm good. Like after this, I'm probably just gonna play Fortnite, anyways. So I
sucker.
After this, I have to get the mailbag ready, so.
I'm gonna play Pikmin.
All right.
love
Everybody got 2 questions, right?
Yeah.
All right. I guess that brings us to the end of the Zelda Mailbag for the Hylian Gamescast.
Woo!
Again, if you want your question to be featured, head over to patreon.com/GameOverJesse, where you can guarantee your question to be on the show. But none of the Patreon people, well, no, one Patreon person asked a question this week. But anyways, thank you all for joining. Axel, where can people find you?
On Axel the Beast on YouTube or axelthebeast.com and Axel the Beast or Axel the Wilder on Twitter and Facebook.
All right. And Daniel, where can people find you?
On Twitter at CaptBurgerson. And I also have a channel called NSHG Films. You can find everything that I do if you just want to stalk me and my entire library of work on my website, burgersonmedia.com. And I've actually been updating it because I didn't for months. So I actually did some updates and put stuff on there again. So check that out too.
Did you say capped? No, he means capped as in like captain.
Yeah.
Why? I don't want to accidentally mislead people to not find your.
They're gonna say
Ferguson.
And finally, Kayla, who are you? Why should we care
And what
about
do you
it?
do?
Oh, I don't know who I am.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Yes. Who's your daddy? What does he do? Oh, we've ruined everything.
This is my time to leave.
Sorry.
But seriously, you guys can find me at Chublima on Instagram and Twitter and Tumblr. I'll probably get into streaming eventually. Stay tuned. I have a capture card and stuff, so we'll see. Also, I'm gonna say it again, as I have for like the past 2 weeks. Add me on RuneScape.
I mean, I could give it a shot again, maybe.
We found one person last night. Avrith said he played RuneScape, but like 10 years ago. So
Same.
any recent players of RuneScape? All right. So I guess that's it. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thanks, everybody.
Go add Capt Bergerson, Axel the Beast, Chiblima, Game Over Jesse. Find us on the Twitters or the Discord, wherever. And yeah, what's that?
Bye.
Rolling in the blank in OSRS. I don't know what that is.
I don't know either.
All right, bye guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye, everybody.